Hello. We should be live, and everything seems to be working, so I should probably actually get started here before too long. Hi, I am definitely not doing the best, to be honest, but I decided to try to push through and try to stream because I am bound to tradition. I like staying on schedule, so for the sake of my health, I figured it would be worth it to attempt, at least, to push through what I'm currently going through and try to do a stream. Though I reserve the right to potentially call the stream early, just because I don't entirely know how well I'll do through the majority of it. But hi, welcome. Everyone to today's stream. Again, gonna be pretty low-key, I'm pretty sure. Not gonna be very high energy or anything of the like, just gonna be kind of vibing, and I was planning on doing this anyway, and it kind of works out. I basically want to attempt a Wind Waker randomizer, because it's been a bit since I've actually done one. I've also worked on getting some other mods ready. So for example, I did go ahead and install the Linkle mod, and also the mod that changes the gender in text for the character. There is a command !mods, which should point out all the mods I'm currently using for this playthrough. Yeah, this should be relatively straightforward, pretty low-key, chill time. Yeah, this is what the Linkle mod looks like. Interestingly enough, this was actually developed first for Wind Waker HD, and then was backported to the GameCube version. So, I have dabbled a bit in Wind Waker randomizers in the past, though I've never actually completed one. I tried one a long time ago, like really early on, and I think I soft-locked it. Like, I literally had no checks left, and I could not proceed, so I kind of just gave up on that. And most other attempts I had started never really took off, mostly just because I frankly lost interest, to be honest. I kind of lost focus, and you know, if I put something down too long, then it's a case of like I don't remember exactly what I was doing. But basically, I am gonna do my best to try to stick through this one. For basic settings, most things in terms of like we start with a sword and everything, so that's left to default. But we do start with magic, and we also start with several songs. So we have the Warp song, and I think the other song for Song of Passing, Battle of Gales, and Wind's Requiem. Wind's Requiem won't be super helpful, because there's also an option in the randomizer to basically have the Swift Sail at all times from HD. Another thing worth mentioning is I am using a tracker. I need to actually remember to update it periodically, and I will be saving frequently because I'm actually attempting to use this on hardware, so I definitely need to be aware of like crashes and stuff, because I've never done a randomizer on actual hardware, so this could go poorly for all I know, but we'll give it a try. So yeah, we can only go in at night, so we actually have to change this. There's also a mod specific. Mod uses like what I ended up doing was randomizing it to have the female version of Link. That's just part of the mod. But there is also an option to add Linkle's voice lines, but I actually don't know how to get that working. Link model is so adorable. Hi. Hello, welcome. And yeah, it's really cute. And again, it actually was first implemented in Wind Waker HD. Okay, this is a weird start to this seed. I don't know how to feel about this. We have one of the Tingle statues, and we got a heart piece. So that is like everything we can do on Outset for now. So I think the next best thing we could do right now is hit up Windfall, because Windfall has 17 checks that we could do, so that definitely seems like a good place to go next. There's actually quite a few mods for Wind Waker. Like, I also need to keep this in mind. Spoils are on. The only things I don't have on for this mod or for this randomizer are long side quests, so things like the trading quest and the trees, and also, what's the other one that I don't want to do? The trading quest, the trees, I think that's about it. The other one I don't have turned on is Savage Labyrinth, which is like the 50 floor gauntlet, mostly because I don't want to do that, because it takes forever, and it's just kind of tedious fighting enemies constantly. So, we are going to warp over to Windfall, if I can remember what the song was. I've played Wind Waker more than any other Zelda, if I had to make a guess. So I basically have the main songs memorized, not so much the others. Of how her little braids sway when she moves. I refuse to believe that this isn't the official intended model. Yeah, it's really good. A lot of mods are kind of like that, where it's like, they have so much effort put into them that they could practically be official. I do hope Zelda games eventually start doing this, where there's like a gender option. Obviously some would be kind of complicated, because you'd have to redo all of the dialogue to account for the other, like, gender options. So, I know that's a problem in, like, Persona 3 Portable, for example, which is actually a different one, because they actually, in that case, have everything redone in some cases. Not just, like, changing pronouns, but changing everything. The long side quests might include the photos, I don't remember. But either way, there was one case in Persona 3 Portable where they did accidentally leave an old line in. This was actually fixed in the remaster. I think they even got the original actress back to re-record one line that was basically still left as male for the female protagonist. So again, something slipped through the cracks when you have an 80-hour RPG. Do I not have text skip, or is Tingle just like... Does Tingle just talk like this? Yeah, I don't think I have, like, fast text on. That is my bad, so some of these will take a bit longer than others. Well, that sucks. Not a great start here. First Tingle gift is the, it says Tingle gift 1 and 2. I don't know what the second- oh wait, there it is. That makes sense. I forgot he gives you 2 things here. Yeah, it completely breaks canon if you date a specific character. Basically, the long story short is, like, in the nicest possible way, characters that are supposed to die do not die. That is the easiest way to describe the changes, and that goes for multiple characters too. Like, multiple characters stay alive when they are supposed to die in the original, which is very fascinating, to be honest. So yeah, it's different than just, like, changing pronouns, and also, like, you know, romance options are entirely different. The only one that's sort of still in is, like, I guess, and even that's kind of, like, vague a bit. Not, like, as confirmed of a romance as the others, but there's definitely, you know, with I guess, there's definitely undertones either way. In general, though, I do like the female protagonist more, but that's obviously down to personal preference. I also played this a long-ass time ago, so maybe that was a sign of something. Either way, we are currently going after the maze chest here. It's also a great way to get rupees early on, because we need a lot for this run, potentially, depending on how the auction turns out. I would prefer not having to go through all of the auction, but we will double check in a bit whether we need to or not. I'm, again, leaning towards I really hope we don't, because that takes forever. Now, I don't know if the pictograph quest counts for this, so that's another thing to look into. Another fun thing, oh wow, that's actually very helpful. We do need that to beat the game. One other thing worth mentioning is there is something called, I think, Better Wind Waker, which is actually based on an old version that's a bit out of date. But what it basically does is allows you to do like mod swap, like the model swapping. Linkle's different actually. You need to do a different method because the models, because it's, I think, from the HD version first, it's actually too high poly to actually work in this game just through like the mod manager for everything. So you actually have to go through and change files out. So it's a bit more of a procedure to get this one working, but overall it still looks really good. And again, maybe because it's from HD, that's why it looks so much cleaner in some ways. Next thing we need to do, I think, is the Killer Bee quest, which will definitely take a bit. I'm trying to see if Lenzo is on this list. I'm not seeing him, so maybe I did turn that off as well. This is also going to be very chaotic because I need to balance checking the tracker and everything. Hi Delphine, and yeah, hi everyone, hi Cal, hi Alpha. Oshi Wind Waker can't handle braids. I actually wouldn't be shocked if it's something like that. So yeah, in general, I think Wind Waker is my favorite Zelda, still, though that's largely down to nostalgia. But basically, my nostalgia bias is for Wind Waker. This was my first Zelda, so this is the one I have most nostalgia for. Again, this is like a horrible starting place, actually, to get used to this. Most people, I think, start with Ocarina or Link to the Past, because I feel like as far as randomizers go, they're a little bit more straightforward in some regards. It's not as much of a headache trying to actually sort everything out in those games compared to this one, where there's like 50 million like checks. Like if you turn on everything, you have all the submarines, you have all the sunken treasures, you have the Triforce treasures, you have a ton of stuff to do, and it just takes forever. So in general, I do think this is like not a good first Zelda to do as a randomizer, but it is the Zelda I know the best, so I genuinely opt for this one. So Tot also has a check here, though we already have the song, because that's like given to you by default, which is very good, so you don't have to like sit in the ocean waiting for time to pass. Very fun game, but also like admittedly kind of broken, I think. It's really weird. I'm this way with a lot of games. Okay, that's actually very helpful. I'm like this with a lot of games, actually, where if you ask me for favorite and best, you're going to get different answers. For example, I usually go with this game for my favorite Zelda, even though, objectively speaking, I actually almost always say I think Twilight Princess is the best Zelda. And the difference between them is, the charm of this game really carries it. But I think Twilight Princess is, like, better made by far. Twilight Princess, even though people complain about the slow start and everything, I actually feel like the slow start in that game is so deliberate to the point where it actually makes a lot of sense. It's trying to establish all the characters and everything before, you know, they all get kidnapped, and thus you want to have some level of attachment. Oh, Errol is here. That must be like a newer thing, because I do not remember that the previous times I've tried randomizers. Another thing is, you have the option of changing swinging controls to be closer to Wind Waker HD. In the original, you have to actually manually stop swinging and then turn, so that's really nice. This is gonna take a few tries. Yeah, the thing with Twilight Princess is, and this is like really unquantitative to the point where I feel like this causes a lot of discourse whenever I try to talk about my gaming opinions. Your controller is broken and I couldn't fully press up on the control stick. Oh yeah, that would be a problem. Again, I never liked the old rope swinging mechanics, so I'm very happy with having the newer mechanics in this mod. I'm gonna do something stupid. This doesn't always work, but yeah, you can actually just do that, and that's, like, to me, easier than trying to, like, time the rope swing. So I have done a couple of Sonic Adventure 2 randomizers. I might do another on stream at some point. But yeah, on my first playthrough, I got stuck on both rope swing challenges, like, for like half an hour each or something. Because I'd never played a Zelda before, I didn't understand, like, oh, there's no jump button, so you actually have to do everything contextually, and so this game was kind of a nightmare, but I ended up warming up to it quite a bit by the end, and yeah, it is one of my favorites because of that. I think on the same day, I also picked up, Phantom Hourglass, because I knew these two games were linked, and just was like, heck it, I'm gonna pick up both. And since I already knew the basic story of this game, I think I played both around the same time, actually, like concurrently. So, this is a weird start. The Deku Leaf is nice, I guess, but it's not, like, really helpful. We could do, like, a couple of things in the forest, and that's about it. Which is not great. So, what should we do next? Obviously, hide and seek is a priority. That's why I came over here, and I totally forgot, because one of the kids is hiding behind this, like, engravement on the stone. But yeah, another example is obviously Sonic, where it's like, for 3D especially, this is more of a problem. For 2D, it's like, yeah, Mania, probably. Though again, sometimes, I've talked about this before, but sometimes I actually almost think I give more props to some of the other games that were more, like, foundational, because Mania is just, like, building off of those foundations. So, because it's just building off of what came before it, but doing it really well, I almost feel like it doesn't have quite as much novelty as, like, 3 and Knuckles, which was, like, genuinely the first attempt at that kind of, like, quality for Sonic, in my opinion, though, again, I swear by Sonic 2 as being pretty good. I also think the game takes an absolute nosedive past the first, 6 zones or so. But the other thing that I think about a lot is, with 3D Sonic, I often go with Adventure 2, even though I know that game is objectively very flawed. But even the ones that are more, like, fundamentally okay, I almost think are actually less interesting in some ways. Forces is obviously the biggest example, where, like, for Forces and Lost World are fundamentally well-made games, if you count pure objective qualities in terms of, like, they're less glitchy than others, but I almost feel like they're so, like, straightforward to the point of lacking charm that other games have. So that's my kind of weird Sonic take, is like, I would rather the broken games to have charm versus, like, a really solid game that feels kind of sauceless by comparison, which is basically Forces as the best example of that. Like Unleashed, for example, is what I've warmed up to, because it's really not fun at times, mostly because of padding. I don't even mind the werehog. It's mostly just the amount of, like, metal grinding you have to do that I don't like. But beyond that, I actually think Unleashed is, like, pretty fun, and it has, like, really good, like, vibes to it that make it, like, one of my more preferred 3D Sonic games, even though I will fully admit, like, I don't like a lot of the night stages. And also, again, another problem in gaming in general is just it's good to be able to discuss flaws while also being able to, like, you know, recognize what a game does well. And I feel like things skew too far in either direction of, like, either basically honing in too much on the flaws or too much on the positives, and I actually think neither is good. There it is, Spoils Bag. That opens up a lot of options for us, actually. But basically, that's kind of my philosophy. A lot of times I will criticize games I really love. Wind Waker being one, where it's like supposedly a dungeon was cut, and it definitely feels like the story kind of gets into a weird rhythm in the middle because of that. But I also still really love this game just for its overall atmosphere and everything. Yeah, this is a weird start. I don't know how to feel about this. 2 Tingle statues down, and now we can actually start working on like joy pendants and stuff when we see like bokoblins, not bokoblins. I don't know which ones they are in this game, but when we see monsters around, we'll try to. Wait, we actually can't. We don't have the grappling hook, so that's actually really awkward. This is a weird start again. Just because of what we can and can't do at the moment. So yeah, we need a joy pendant, basically. Then there's this one that we can give skull necklaces to, but we have none of those either. But again, at least we can actually start working on that now that we have the joy... Not the joy pendant. Yeah, the joy pendants. No, the spoils bag. That's what I'm trying to say. Again, I am very out of it, clearly, today. Not all here. So instead of a letter, we'll get something else, most likely. It's actually a problem if we do get a letter, because that means we can't deliver it. Is there a chest down here? And does this count for a check? Alright, we'll see what's in here. Triforce piece, that's very helpful. Free item, House of Wealth chest. So I think everything else we can do is at night. The other problem we have is the Squid Game, or the Battleship game. I said Squid Game, and it's like, maybe I should specify nowadays. But to be honest, I don't think I have enough rupees for that. So instead, what I'm going to do is change to night and then just check the auction to see what's here. Again, there's a chance that the Squid Game has really good prizes, but I would rather not have to sit through a Battleship if I don't have to. Speedrunners have actually devised the best method to easily sift through them all. Hello, welcome. Alright. We'll see how this goes. Again, we'll check a few times to see what all is here. We do not have enough rupees to actually do the auction, though, as a heads up. So we'll just dip in and out, basically. I'm also trying to remember how this works, if you can simply leave and come back, and if it'll swap out, or if you actually have to sit through the entire auction. Because again, like, paying 60 rupees for 20 rupees is extraordinarily not worth it. But there is a farming spot over here, at least. Right here. You can go in and out as much as you want to get rupees there. Yeah, I hope everyone's having an alright day. Again, my day is like kinda weird. I'm just been in a weird headspace for like days now. By days I mean like weeks. So that's kind of what my issue at the moment is, just like trying to break out of a funk, and it's like I'm bidding on a rupee, which is like, this seems like a really bad idea. So the 60 is worthless. So I can actually cross that out. So we're still missing the 5, the 40, and the 80, and I don't know if there's an easy way to refresh those. We'll give it one more try. If it doesn't refresh again, we'll try something else. I am not necessarily okay, to be totally honest, and again, it's like, I don't know how long I haven't been okay is the thing. So it's just a matter of like pushing through. It is like refusing to budge off of this, so I don't know how to reset the auction prices. I'm actually gonna look this up really quickly, just to see if there's a way to get them to cycle to the next one. It doesn't actually specify. Yeah, it doesn't actually say, so, we'll come back for that later. For now, we'll go through this. This is like a little stealth mission. We have to follow her basically all the way to the shop, and then she'll try to steal a bottle. Well, I say bottle in air quotes because we don't know what it'll be quite yet. I feel like her range of vision can be very hit or miss, so sometimes it'll be really easy, other times I get spotted, and I'm not entirely sure why. I do like how they changed the meow for the female Link. I think it's called like Linka or something. But again, there's an actual Linkle mod as well, so I don't know what they do for the meow. So yeah, I am basically playing very cautiously because I don't want to have to reset. And if you actually mess this up, you actually have to change back time to day and then night again, if I remember correctly. So yeah, I'd rather not have to do that, so we're taking our time here. I feel like sometimes I've been spotted through this ramp also, which really sucks when it happens. There she is. I was like, I thought she stopped here, but I couldn't recall entirely. It's a weird situation. I'm simultaneously like really familiar with this game, but there's a lot of details I've kind of forgotten over the years. First time I played this was actually like 20 years ago. Little girls in their X-ray vision. Yeah, basically. Doesn't happen too often, but I swear it's happened a few times. Alrighty then, so we have to wait until there's like a sign over her head showing that she's trying to open it. Otherwise, if you run up to her too early, you can actually mess this up. So, I've definitely seen that happen either in like runs of this or in my own personal playthroughs. Now, I think you say yes to everything, but I'm going kind of slowly just to make sure. Just to make sure I don't accidentally choose the wrong option. So as a result, she gives us the Pharaoh's Pearl, which is good because that helps us get into the Tower of the Gods in a bit. But right now, it's not actually that helpful. So that is Follow the Thief. And, like, we do have the Battleship game. We have 100 rupees. We should try it, at least. I am going to save beforehand, so I can get my rupees back if necessary. Can you actually quit? You can, okay. That's good, actually. So if I blow all my rupees on this, I can just reset as many times as I need to. This might take a bit. This might be the rest of the stream for all I know, with my luck on this game. So there are 3 prizes from him. Oh, this only costs 10 rupees. I thought it was 20 for some reason. I think the prize is 20. So this is just Battleship. But like, there are strategies to like pivoting around, like cutting off areas where things have to be, essentially. So this one has to be the long one. Oh, this is bad. Dang it. Yeah, this is gonna be how it goes for a little bit. So yeah, we'll be here for a while. In terms of like other stuff to talk about, I really don't have much going on at the moment. Well, there's the 3. Alright, okay, so that's actually kind of annoying in my opinion, because now we have only the small one, which is like the hardest to try to parse where it could possibly be. Like, it's just kind of a crapshoot at this point. Yep, everywhere except where we looked, or where, yeah, you know what I mean. Alright, that's a good start. Yeah, the downside of testing this on hardware is, I can't save state. So, yeah, we actually have to do this legit for once. Once again, we're down to the 2, which is my least favorite scenario to be in. Alright. Well, we'll get one prize at least. Yeah, it does make it a lot more challenging, unfortunately. So, what do we get for just finishing it all? There's another prize for just finishing, period. But then one for getting under 20, which will be a pain in the butt to get. We got a skull necklace that isn't really helpful. We need like 20, not just one. I'm gonna keep going a little bit longer. I'd kind of like to find out all 4 prizes, just from the standpoint of, or all 3 prizes, just from the standpoint of knowing if any of this matters, basically. Because there's a chance that none of this matters. Oh, that's weird. That threw me off. Okay, no wonder I didn't figure that out. I don't know what games have randomizers or not. I know a lot of Sonic games do, though, so I wouldn't be... The problem with Heroes is, like, what could you actually randomize? The other problem is, like, it does take a lot of work to actually get randomizers running. I almost feel like it's a little bit underestimated at times. Oh, Esper, thank you for the subscription. Well, that sucked. I feel like a lot of times they end up being, close together. I don't know if that's even on purpose or not. I also don't know if I can hear alerts or not, or if it's just really quiet. I think it's just too quiet. Control audio. I'm just checking this now, because I didn't actually hear it. Where would that be? Audio properties, I suppose? Yeah, I mean it's audio properties. Yeah, it should be outputting, but I didn't hear it. Again, maybe I just have it set really low. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, this sucks. Hypothetically, we could have gotten it if we had landed every shot at that point, but that's very unlikely. What I'm gonna do is, because we got the first prize, I'm going to save here, again, just to make sure we don't have to do this again, and then we'll go from here, basically, to try to get the last 2 prizes. Again, there's a method to this that, like, speedrunners have devised to try to get through here a lot faster. But I do not remember that method, and thus we have a problem. Alright, yet again we're in the same stupid situation, where we're only missing the 2, which is the hardest one to pin down. Everywhere, like, it was just where we didn't look, of course. This is a stupid strategy, what am I doing? I'm not all here today. I mean, this is the best we've done in a while, unfortunately. That I kind of just botched the first part because I was being impatient. Well, we got the second prize without too much issue, so we'll see what this is, but then the 20 is gonna be a pain to get. I don't even know if I'll go for that right now, if I'll put that off until later, until I have a little bit more to collect. Or like more rupees, I mean. A treasure chart, but it actually is a treasure chart. That's very ironic. I still don't know how to mark treasure charts on here. Man, we only have 27 rupees, so I'm gonna come back for the other one later. For now, let's see, what else are good options? I do want to check the auction again, just to see if, like, doing some other stuff will cause the, cycle to reset, in terms of, like, actually seeing one of the other prices. Again, you can kind of tell I've never done a full randomizer playthrough of this game, just because I don't really remember all the ins and outs. And again, this is a particularly complicated one for having a lot that can potentially be randomized. I personally like that, though. Oh, that is necessary. Okay, so we need to, like, put a bookmark on this one for later. That's the 80. So yeah, the 80 is a Triforce chart. We might not need that, but it is definitely worth considering in terms of, like... it has a chance of leading to something. You can actually set treasure charts and Triforce charts independently, also. If you only want one... oh wait, what's this? How do you mark these? Oh, like that. This just seems to be the normal mailbox letter. Oh, Kamali. He gave us a treasure chart. Cool. Oh, thank you. I hope I'm doing okay despite my, like, weird headspace at the moment. Just trying to push through to the best of my ability. I think even the cruising speed is faster, like in Wind Waker HD, so that's very helpful. Do they have both ships here? I assume they would. Maybe his are, like, relatively standard. Where's my boat? Oh, there it is. I was like, wait, where did I park? And just to satiate my curiosity, I'm going to go back once more to try to see if this is going to be something good or not. Now, the problem I'm going to have, and I know this because I know my luck, is the auction or the battleship minigame are going to be necessary. So I'm putting off both, but I'm sure we'll have to come back for both at some point, because I know my luck. I'm not that fortunate. Hope things improve. Thank you. I don't know when things will improve, to be honest. I'm doing my best in the meantime, though. Trying to, like, be okay, I suppose. Or, I don't know if be okay is the right way to put it, but just, like, make it through, kind of. Yeah, thank you all for the kind words and everything. Again, I almost wasn't sure if I could stream today, but ended up deciding, you know what? I think I'll feel even worse if I don't stream, so I need to, like, stay on track. I haven't missed a day so far, even though in some cases, like today, I did start a little bit late. But again, it's a case of, I think, for me, I need the normalcy of, like, actually trying to stay on target to, like, not sink farther, basically. I don't even know if this is, if this mindset makes sense or what. Also, there was a lot of frame drops earlier, like 20 frames. I don't know what even caused that. But if you notice, like, the stream seems, like, behind, that's probably why. It's possible to, like, refresh to get it caught up again as well. Alright, so we actually have to break out the sail. This is one thing I don't like in this version, is having the sail as a, as an item instead of as a, like, shortcut, like you can on, HD. So, I think the most sensible place to check next would be the ferry island up here. This is where you normally get the wallet. Apparently there's also a submarine, so we'll go hit that up as well while we're over here. Hello, welcome. Also, there is an option to have the, like, the people on the islands tell you, hints. This is an option. I'm not gonna use that right away. This, like, we just started. I'm gonna try to figure this out on my own first. But again, there is backup options like that. And yeah, thank you all for the head pats. And again, I did add the one I made to, as an emote, because I have no other ideas. At some point, I would like to commission artists to design emotes, but for me, I just don't really want to spend money at the moment unless I know enough people are like... It's a weird balance, like, trying to justify subscribing, but also, like, feeling like I shouldn't go and spend a lot of money on emotes if I don't justify subscribing. That is very helpful. I am doing interestingly. I don't think I can say I'm doing well, so I'm saying I'm doing interestingly. That's how I'm opting to describe my current condition. But yeah, I'm not doing, like, bad at the moment. I did pick up a little bit emotionally, because I definitely was having a rough morning. I still am kind of having a weird day, though. I need to, like, resolve some things after the stream, if I have the energy to do so. So yeah, I have a lot of weird situations going on in terms of, like, my personal life, and again, this is not to be discussed in detail on stream, obviously, but, if I do seem a bit off, that's why. Now, is this a letter? This is a letter that matters. Letter advertising bombs in Beetle's shop. His heart, not that helpful. It's kind of weird, because normally you'd want pieces of heart, but in randomizers, you kind of dread seeing them. Oh, thank you. I hope that is the case. I don't know if that's a sensible way to describe my feelings at the moment, but that's kind of where I'm at this point, is I hope I do deserve good things. Again, maybe that's a weird way to put it, though. Anyway, we have all these enemies. We actually do want to fight these. I don't have the grappling hook, so I actually have to fight them by hand and hope they drop an item instead of just pulling the item off of them. Okay, that sucks. This is not a good place to farm for these if we don't have the grappling hook. I'll try, but I'm not expecting good things out of this. If we actually get a joy pendant, we can always back out, back to Windfall. Yeah, no, this is like a lost cause. We'll just head inside. But yeah, I kind of want to do a lot of randomizers, to be honest. For example, I would really like to just go through all of the ones I could for Zelda specifically. Just because I like Zelda, for one thing. Can I skip all of this? I'd kind of like to skip all of this if I can, but I don't know if this is like a thing where you can do that. I don't actually see the treasure chest in there, so yeah, I think we actually do have to fight. But hey, we got a lot of skull necklaces this way, so that's not a bad thing. In general, I also feel like I'm doing really badly at, like, promoting things. Like, I didn't tweet out the stream, or, like, post on Blue Sky or anything, so that's a problem, to be honest, in terms of engagement, so, oops. There we go. Just waiting for an opening. The other thing is I like don't promote my socials like at all on stream. I do have like, you know, Blue Sky mostly. I've kind of been moving away from Twitter for extraordinarily obvious reasons. But in general, I need to actually get better at using Blue Sky, or social media in general. And again, there's some stuff that's like, I do have like a coffee account, or Ko-fi, however one pronounces it, set up, but it's just a case of like, I always feel bad promoting it. Because it's like, I don't feel like I do enough to justify like outside donations yet, if that makes sense. Again, heavy topics are probably gonna come up today, just from the perspective of my headspace at the moment. So yeah, probably some deeper conversation points than usual. Yeah, this is just gonna be kind of a chill vibe stream, if anything. Okay, that is a problem, because I'm like, what is the purpose of this room? Like, do we have to swing over? Because oh, maybe the chest appears when you actually swing over. I think that's how this works. Like, it literally doesn't appear until you land on that ledge. Yeah, thank you for the head pats again. Yeah, I need to work on my voice more, and I definitely notice it more when I'm streaming. Definitely more aware of that. I need to work on social skills still, which is ironic. Streaming in a way is to work on social skills, and yet it almost feels like that is just... I don't know how to describe it exactly. Almost like complicating it, because then I have to spend time... Then I spend time streaming instead of like hanging out with people. So it's kind of a weird balance of trying to... Yeah, strike a balance of those. What the heck is with all the Tingle statues? We're gonna have all of them before we even, like, get to a dungeon at this point. At this point, would not be shocked if something really good is on Tingle Island, just because we have so many of these stupid statues. It's like, why else would we get them this early? Oh, thank you. I feel like my voice is not anything special, personally. It's a little bit rough, I'd say. Would be something easy. Obviously, Mother and Child Isle would be really short to do, so we'll just zip over there for a moment. This is actually inside, like, the mountain, so... It's like, you can only warp here, basically. I also don't know if... Link's grandma would have a check. Probably, right? Doesn't look like it, actually. Another Triforce chart. So that's interesting, to say the least. I'm just thinking... Another easy one would be, Paw Print Isle, I think. Yeah, there's a lot on Paw Print Isle. So we'll go over there next. We can't do everything here, I'm pretty sure. But we can do a few things. There's also a lookout platform, which might be helpful. But yeah, thanks for all the compliments. Again, I don't mean to be, like, venting so much on this stream. But again, I kind of figured it would happen. This would just be, like, me... talking a little bit about what's on my mind while, you know, playing a Zelda game I thoroughly enjoy. The other Zelda I would like to do a randomizer for... I actually don't really know if there is one. Is there a Minish Cap randomizer yet? I need to look into that, because Minish Cap might be interesting because of all the Kinstone fusions. It would be interesting how that would work out. Well, that was a dud. And well, actually not really, we need the money, so it's not a problem by any means, we need it. But again, I was like hoping for something, you know, plot relevant. Especially, oh, now we have a problem, I need to go back. I I genuinely need to go back and do some other stuff because we have a full wallet. So yeah, maybe we'll go back and do the salvage. Not salvage, the... What am I trying to say? My brain is not functioning at full capacity today. Try the battleship minigame again. That's what I'm trying to say. Because... Also, I don't know if choo-choo jellies count for much. I know there's like something that can use them, but I don't know if that counts for an actual item. I think that only counts for like... getting potions. So I don't think they're actually required for anything. Oh, that is not drop. Yeah, right. Drop is R. That's on me. I'm used to more modern Zeldas that changed the button layout. Link's Awakening is another one, partly because I know a group I'm in is trying to get an archipelago going, so I kind of want to do a Link's Awakening rando to familiarize myself with the core concepts. The only problem with Link's Awakening is there's like 4 randomizers for this game, so I'm like trying to decide which one is actually like the best one to practice with. Like which one would be closest to the archipelago's rule sets. Another heart piece. Not particularly what I want to see right now. I know Twilight Princess has a rando, but again, as much as I think Twilight Princess is a very good game, again, the vibes just never clicked with me. And again, so it's the weird, like, balancing act of I genuinely think Twilight Princess is, like, the best made Zelda game. It's just, it doesn't quite hit the same as some of the ones that are objectively more flawed. Like, you know, I will argue all day that Twilight Princess is a better game than Skyward Sword, but I still like Skyward Sword more for whatever reason, just because it has a little bit more charm. Not to say that Twilight Princess doesn't have charm, but just it has more of the vibe I'm looking for from Zelda. I guess for lack of a better term. You can do a single-player archipelago, that's true. I was trying to look into that and also got, like, turned around and distracted, so that is another, situation as well. But also, hi Zelda. Welcome. Hope you're doing okay. Hope everyone's doing okay, though I think I already said that. The other thing we need to consider is getting stuff back on Outset again. Now that we do have bombs, we could check out Jabun's Cavern. Though I don't think it'll be particularly, like, smart to go back until we have more stuff to do in Outset, which would probably require some more items. Oh look, paying rupees for a rupee. Also, hi Gwen, welcome. Or should I say Gwendolyn? That's why my brain shut down for a moment. It's like, should I break out that right now? Should I just immediately, like, frame 1 Gwendolyn? Hi, welcome, everybody. See, my problem is I can't say it right. I can't say it the way, like, Star does. Yeah, no worries. Everyone is like, not obligated to show up at all. I really appreciate when everyone can make it out, but again, never required. What is this, a fighting game? Imagine that being like a fighting game move where you just call someone a good girl, and that's like a super that deals like, you know, 40%. Now I actually want that unironically, I think. Best power ever. Okay. Let's see what's in here. Silver rupee. Wow, that's going to waste. We don't have room for it. That sucks, actually. And we just kind of wasted, you know, a lot of money, basically. Here's a potentially dumb question. For Tingle... Okay, so the treasure charts being deciphered doesn't count as another check. That's what I was looking up. It's like, I figured that wouldn't be the case, but I just wanted to make sure. You never know with randomizers how, like, esoteric they can be. Oh yeah, right, I don't want to do that. I want to go back to Windfall and, Actually, no, we could do Spectacle next. Since we just did a bunch of stuff. And have a dedicated flirting option. That'd be nice. Ow. I don't know if that picked up, but yeah, that was my joints. I definitely have not stretched enough today. Yep, hope everyone's doing okay. Again, I've talked about this enough already, probably, but again, I've been having a not-so-great day, to be blunt. Just trying to push through weird feelings, essentially. But again, that's not anything new, that's just been my year, basically. 2024's got hands. Here I was thinking, like, you know, 2023 was, like, gonna be a bad year, and then 2024 I might look up, and now it's like, oh, well, both are bad, cool. Thanks, universe. Feel like throwing hands with the universe sometimes. That's like not like super helpful, but it's also only 5 rupees, so we might as well go for it. So hi, we need to sit here for like a minute, so if anyone like has a topic, let me know, because I have no clue what to talk about for the next like minute as we're going through the auction. In terms of like me personally, gaming-wise, I haven't really been doing a whole lot. I've mostly been playing Fortnite of all things, trying to get through all the Halloween quests, basically. It's fun, I do like Fortnite more. Like, unironically, I do enjoy Fortnite more than I probably should. Hi Peter, thank you for the raid. Hello, welcome, welcome. Hope everyone is, doing good that's coming over. We are sitting through the auction right now. If you have head pat emotes, make sure to pat the Peter as our countermeasures. Specific countermeasures just for him. Actually, it's the only emote I have right now, so maybe that should be like how I counter raids. Oh, this is getting expensive very fast. What happened? Oh, Nightbot doesn't like links. That's good to know. News to me as well, to be honest. Sorry about that. Yep, that is the Peter Persum of twitch.tv/Peter Persum. Do I even have a shoutout set up? Should have done this for Nicole when she raided a while back. Why did it shout out me? There we go. Do the Twitch? Do the Twitch? I don't know how to do the Twitch one. Is that like slash raid? Or it's like slash shout out? There we go. Again, you can tell I'm slightly new to this. Shout out to Yuna too, but it's my stream. If you're here, you already know who I am. So instead, we're going to shout out someone else. I almost typed in Gwendolyn by sheer instinct at this point. Oh, I have to wait 1 minute and 43 seconds to actually shout out again. So we will use the other way. I almost did it again. There we go. We have to be getting close to the final 10 seconds, right? Yes, only 5 seconds left, so button mashing. How much am I gonna drop on this? Like 150, just to be on the safe side? I think that'll be enough to stun them. Yeah, I did find a mod that changes, like, pronouns too, which is really nice. Yeah, this stuns them for like a solid like 5 to 10 seconds, which is great to end the auction that way. But that was the 5, and it got up to like 150 as our final bid. So yeah, definitely a good thing to have a lot of rupees going into this. But yeah, hello. I feel like I'm not like great at streaming because I'm like, hi, hello, welcome. Every like 10 seconds, because that's like my way of filling time. That was the 5 rupee. So yeah, the 40 is like another rupee, and the 80 is a Triforce chart, which might be something good. Yeah, thank you for the kind words, everybody. I feel like I'm just not all here today. Yeah, I'm just having a weird year. Weird, like, 8 years. To be, like, totally honest, it's not like just a year, it's been an extended period of time at this point. It's just felt very off. Well, might as well try this again, before I move on to something else. Oh wait, we have to sit through this again because we actually backed out. So this time we actually do need the high score. Which sucks. I hate this. I hate it here. Maybe I don't hate it here. Maybe I do still hate it here. I need to make every shot land in order to actually win this, so we've already lost. That's cool. I don't know why I saved, because I'm just gonna leave. I don't need the rupees for much else at the moment. I'm just kind of sad because we had a really good run going, and then I botched it at the end. I think I've already used too many shots. Oh, this is both of them. I see. That's really confusing when that happens. Okay. Okay, got the 4. Oh gee, Squid Game. I keep calling it Squid Game. Like, I've said that multiple times. -2. I mean, I've made that joke all evening at this point. So then that means I must also get -2, because I've made that joke. It's something that Peter does a lot. I don't remember where he got it from, but it's like +2 or -2 for jokes. I got it from Snapcube, personally. Because I know her chat does that. Do not know where Peter got it from. Last chance. Then we'll move on, because I don't want to be here forever. Oh, this was dumb, actually. Because there's Spectacle Isle, which we also need rupees for. I'm also just scattershotting. This is stupid. We've already run out of shots for this. We'd have to get this one perfectly, but also we didn't have the 20, so that's what we actually need. So let's make some more rupees, shall we? I'm trying to think of anything else to talk about. I really don't have much going on. I just feel like a mess at the moment, to be honest. Again, it's almost a miracle I'm streaming at all today. Almost wasn't sure at first. Ow. Just roll off into the water, why don't ya? Sometimes I just wish it was, like, easier to hold myself together, I guess. But I often end up falling apart quite a bit. Yeah. Definitely something I need to, like, get better about. I am not getting Shadow Generations, at least for now, just because I don't really want to spend money on it. Like, full price for it, just because I'd rather save that money for something else. especially because like Sonic games always go on sale very quickly. Yeah, I think the edgy Zelda game was a direct course correction, quote unquote, which is so funny in hindsight because like Wind Waker, I almost feel is better remembered than Twilight Princess nowadays. Obviously, that's a way to start a fan war right there, but in general, I do think the overall preference leans Wind Waker to Twilight Princess at the moment. Twilight Princess is a game that needs like a full remake, kind of like Metroid Prime Remastered, to be good looking, I think, and for a game like that, that'd be so much work. Metroid Prime, that's a pretty linear game, so I almost feel like it's not that big of a deal, doing a total overhaul to everything, but for like Twilight Princess, that'd be a long game to do a full remake of. But I almost think it actually needs that, in a way. Wind Waker HD is greater than Twilight Princess. I'd say original Wind Waker is better than Twilight Princess, but that just might be a hot take on my part. But again, I have nostalgic bias on my side. I grew up with this game. It's like I still swear by Phantom Hourglass because that was like one of my first 2D Zeldas, and I still swear by Minish Cap because that was one of my first 2D Zeldas. Yeah, it's so funny they flipped it to make it right-handed, though it still is weird to me they never made Breath of the Wild Link left-handed. I genuinely wonder if it's a case of they were going to do something with motion controls on like the Wii U version, but then once they switched over to the Switch, they decided to get rid of that, because like why else is that Link right-handed? Because it doesn't really make sense when every other Link is basically left-handed except the one where they literally have to flip the entire game to make him right-handed. Did we get anything here yet? I don't think we actually did. Wind Shrine, that's one we have to do in a moment. Chest on top of boulder. Fly across platforms around island. I feel like I don't have enough magic for that. Rito Airy, Baito, I don't know what that means. Which one is this character? Oh, that's the male, I think. Lefties unit, like a squad of lefties. Yeah, it's like really frustrating because there's like no left-handed characters. So like making Breath of the Wild Link right-handed feels like really like a weird choice. Because I know, like, for example, when he was involved in the franchise, Shigeru Miyamoto made a huge deal out of it. Like, specifically wanting to make Link left-handed, so it's a bummer not having that be the case. My favorite Mario game is probably Galaxy. Yes, Galaxy and not Galaxy 2, just because bias towards Rosalina. Alright, 20 or more. I'm going kind of slow. I don't know how the 25's gonna go at this rate, because my reflexes are not the best today. I also don't really like this control stick. So I feel like I wish I could use the D-pad, which is an option on HD, but not this version. Bowser's Fury is a very interesting answer. I don't, like, disagree that it's very good, but it's just kind of fascinating, because it's like... It's basically like Shadow Generations being one of the best 3D Sonic games, which actually, unironically, seems to be the case. Where it's like... The pack-in for a remaster being one of the actual best games in the series. I'm picturing like the holding hands meme. Oh shoot, that's really bad. Yeah, I botched that real bad. I don't know how I got that. That was really dumb. I should not have gotten that, based on how much I screwed up. Alright, so new helper. We already cleared the path, so all we'll have to do is leave and come back. Now we have to do the part-time job. One more time. To get his quote-unquote letter, which hopefully will be something better than a letter. Sensing bias. This is a bad minigame to be trying to read chat during. That was really lucky, having like a ton of the same symbol in a row. There we go. So his letter is a wallet. That's actually very good. Do I have an option for that? I do. Neat. I mean, Rosalina is a very good character. Alright. Little nervous about this, because I don't remember the last time I've done this with, like, starting magic. So I might fall on my face spectacularly here. Is it actually going the right direction already? It is. So we might as well just try to fly. Alright, so far so good. Restock on magic here. Hope the Kargrok doesn't give us too much trouble. Actually, I think we need feathers for a quest later on. Okay, so it's over there. So that's like... Does it want me to go north, or does it want me to go north... west? I'm trying to think, actually. I think I should just go straight north. This might be a problem. This might be a huge mistake, so we'll find out. Yeah, that seems okay. I'm in kind of focus mode here. I don't want to botch this, because then it takes forever to get back up here. Case in point, I almost just got shoved off the ledge. That would have been very bad. Alright, mild fear, but it all worked out. Alright, so one more. I almost pressed A too early. That would have been tragic to go through everything and botch it at the very end. But we made it, so we'll see what's in this little cave. One thing I really like about randomizers, like, specifically... Oh, that's good. Specifically for Zelda, it basically gives you a better understanding of the games, because you basically have to learn things you might not know about them. Like, you have to figure out all the item placements. So it gives you a deeper understanding of all these games. So that is something I really find appealing about the concept of these randomizers. Others not so much, I think. You know, like Sonic Adventure 2 randos, like, funny. But I almost feel like it doesn't really give you any skills beyond, like, maybe having to do weird tricks with specific characters. But with Zelda games, especially, the randomizers kind of force you to have to learn things about how the games actually operate in a way that's very cool. It gives you, like, a deeper understanding of them. Alright, so we'll learn this song. You've done Token Sanity. Oh no. See, I don't know Ocarina. That just sounds like hell to me. Cause I'm like... I think I could do like a non... like, Key Sanity or Skull Sanity for that. But I definitely don't think I could actually do a Gold Skulltula rando. Just because I don't remember where they are at all. And beyond, like, the first dungeon or something. The dungeon ones are easier to remember. It's mostly just the, Also, why do I keep pressing up on the D-pad so much? I keep thinking up on the D-pad is menu, and I'm trying to think, what game have I played recently that put a menu and up on the D-pad? I don't think it was Control. I think it was the map and Control. So yeah, I'm really trying to blank on why I keep pressing the D-pad for that. So we have a combat arena. I'm going into this with way less health than I probably should. But we'll have to see how this goes. This shouldn't be too bad, actually. This one's not terrible. Alrighty then. Keys. I can live that. Ow. I say immediately take damage, because of course. Oh, this one's actually nice. You don't have to go back to a central room. It just automatically lets you go to the next room. It's really convenient. Unless that's a change for the randomizer and I'm totally misremembering. That is an option, to be fair. So we have the little moth enemies. I don't remember what these are called. I'm surprised that was a one-shot, but I forget these have, like, no health. See, like, this randomizer is really interesting because we've gotten some good stuff, but we're also missing, like, a lot. Like, it's good to have the Triforce pieces that we have. It's good to have, like, the Deku Leaf, obviously. But it's like, I really want the grappling hook, because that opens up a lot. But I also don't want the grappling hook, because it opens up a lot. It's a weird mix, because on one hand, it's nice being able to have a lot of options. On the other hand, it's just pain, because you have too many options. It's like when the whole world is open and up to you, basically. It can actually be kind of overwhelming. And I almost feel like the grappling hook is a really rare example of that in this series, because I can't think of many other Zelda games to have an item that would open up that many, like, checks as, like, the grappling hook in this one, because you have all the grappling points, obviously. You have everything involving sunken treasures, and that's like 40 plus. That's gotta be like over 50 checks just off the grappling hook. And then, yeah, everything within dungeons too. Pokemon randomizers are intimidating to me. I zoned out. Which is the entrance and which is the exit? This might be the exit. Nope, that's right. Nope. Yeah, that is right. I thought that was the exit for a moment. Okay, now we're talking. This is good, I think. Boomerang! Secret cave. It says chest on top of boulder. I don't know where that would be. Again, it's just like, even if I do know this game pretty well, there's still a lot that I don't know. A Minecraft randomizer would also be interesting, but I also don't know much about Minecraft. I've never even finished actual Minecraft. Which is definitely on my list of things to do eventually. I was watching a friend play Minecraft yesterday, and it kind of got me in the mood to play again. But I almost feel like I'd rather play with friends, but the inherent problem is you have to, like, pay money or something. I don't know the specifics of it, but, it's not the easiest thing in the world to do. Chest on top of boulder. I wonder if they give you a bottle? I'm curious about something. I want to check the cavern in a moment. Rock Spire Island. Got another Triforce chart, so that is definitely worthwhile. So that is advertising Rockspire. Cool. Yeah, it's like chest on top of boulder. I can't think of many others. This one I can actually think of, but it's not one that we can easily hit yet. Maybe we could with the boomerang. We'll have to try that in a moment. But first things first, I want to check near Dragon Roost. Servers are free, but functionally, most people don't have the technical knowledge or strong enough hardware to host themselves. Noted. I wonder what you would need for that, actually. Because, like, I have a 3060, which I know is not the most powerful thing in the world, but, yeah, pandemic era, trying to get a GPU was not easy, and it was from a pre-built, actually. We could actually check a little bit of Dragon Roost. I think we will. This probably won't be productive, just based on the odds of, like, based on averages. This probably won't have anything of importance, but hey, worth a look. We're here. Might as well. Also, the bitrate is probably really liking all this ash on screen right now. Pokemon randomizers and, by extension, Nuzlockes kind of scare me. Partly because I'm not that good at Pokemon. Like, everyone talks about, like, oh, Pokemon games are so easy unless you do a Nuzlocke, and I'm over here, like, I'm struggling against, like, a lot of these trainer fights. So I think I'm just bad at Pokemon. Plus, like, I worry about, like, backseating to some extent. Not that it really matters, because I've played most of them, but I don't know, like, I forget about, like, type charts a lot. Purely vanilla Minecraft servers also have lots of performance issues, so most people have to have a ton of plugins to make it run smoothly, but it might not be too bad with just 4 or 5 people max on it at once. Gotcha. See, that's the other problem with, like, a Nuzlocke to me, is I play RPGs with a lot of level grinding, so the inherent problem is, how interesting would it be if I just level up? People are just super nerds? That's also a fair point. Oh, that's locked. Yeah, we can actually do everything until we need the grappling hook, which is pretty far into the dungeon, actually. If we actually get it in here, that'd be great, but I'm not counting on it. Like, if the grappling hook is vanilla, that'd be really funny, but it's not gonna happen. I know my luck. Speaking of which... gaming-wise, the other thing I'm really looking forward to is obviously Guilty Gear. Full Daisy trailer drops on Wednesday. It'll be morning, because it's Paris Games Week. So it's like 7 AM my time. So I'm not watching that stream live. The only special item I've gotten in Earthbound is the Sword of Kings. I cannot imagine going after the others personally with how much the Sword of Kings... how long the Sword of Kings took me. I think I got it, at least. Getting a little stuck on the terrain, that's fine. Alright, we'll check in here. Again, I don't know how much more we can actually do here. We'll have to wait and see. We can definitely get this, at least. But yeah, we're just gonna go through this kind of, you know, vanilla for now, so I'm just gonna talk about whatever I think. Yeah, it's kind of down to Shikasato Itoi not wanting to make more Earthbound stuff, and thus, like, apparently it's a case, from what I understand, of, like, Nintendo technically could, but it's a situation where they just really want Itoi's blessing on a project, which is way easier said than done because of just him being very checked out of Earthbound. Like, he still loves it, obviously, with, like, the Hobonichi merch and everything, but it's just he doesn't want to make another game, which is very difficult when they would kind of want the original creator to have some input from what I gather. But again, that just might be, you know, internet hearsay through the grapevine, as they say. So, grain of salt as always. Alright, so we got another key. Again, there's like key sanity too. I don't want to even think about that. Like getting all the keys you need, that just sounds like hell, personally. You know, one nice thing about Wind Waker is actually not needing, like, specific things as much as Twilight Princess- not Twilight Princess, what game am I thinking of? Ocarina, where it's like you need all the medallions. Well, with this you just need the Triforce pieces, which are kind of scattered everywhere anyway, so it's like a very different vibe for like... I think in Ocarina of Time randomizers, you actually do need to complete the dungeons in some order to actually get the medallions still. I don't think the medallions are randomized into the actual world. So again, that's actually one thing that I imagine would make Wind Waker easier. Do I miss the Virtual Console? Mixed answer. I missed parts of it, I do not miss other parts of it. I miss actually being able to buy games instead of just subscription models, but on the other hand, I did not like having to rebuy them every time. And the hope, based on how Nintendo's talking, is that they're gonna try to carry over the Nintendo Switch Online stuff from their current hardware to their next hardware, so it should be a lot better for that in that regard. I should not have thrown that stick across. Oh, open Ganon's castle, so you don't need... So you only need the light arrows and whatever you need to clear the trials. That's actually really good to know. But again, I almost feel like, for me, I like leaving things on as long as they're not unreasonable. And again, this game I consider mostly just go on trading and, the, whatchamacallit. Why am I blanking? The withered trees, those two. I don't want to do those, basically. So those are turned off, and again, like Savage Labyrinth, but more for the sake of time than actually needing to, like, not liking the dungeon. It's more just, it takes a while, so I'd rather not if I don't have to. And it's also just tedious having to just fight enemies constantly. But yeah, beyond that, I think I have everything else turned on. I didn't go swordless though, just to have a little bit more wiggle room, especially because I've never completed a randomizer of this game before. I figured I shouldn't go all in, making it as difficult as possible. I'm just gonna do this. Or just yeet it off the ledge, that works too. On my setup right now, I feel like the dithering is much more severe in this one room. I don't know if it's just because the lighting accentuated it. I think it did. Is there a Minish Cap randomizer? I was actually asking about that earlier, like, does that exist already? Because that would be of interest to me if it does. Because Minish Cap was like one of my first 2D Zeldas, so I would be curious of trying that out at some point. It's fun. Yeah, definitely we'll have to keep that in mind then. Again, I want to do some 2D randomizers too. Again, I don't want to do a race, I've never done it before. Well, at least for my first playthrough of it. I also need to refresh on the actual game. I don't remember Minish Cap very well. We have 4 out of 5 statues, for the record. That's wild to me. Now we have, like, almost the entire statue collection. The statues have to be an important check, right? Because why else would we get all the statues here? Yeah, there's gotta be something going on to make the dithering worse in this area. I don't even know if it's dithering in the traditional sense. Or if it's just like a weird GameCube effect. Alright, so what does that mean for us? It means we're stuck, actually. The other key must be in the chest across from the lava. So that means we're actually soft-locked here. Not soft-locked, this is just faster to just quit out, basically. First room, water, boarded up chest, got that. I feel like we got more than that. I don't even know how many keys we ended up getting. Rat room... There's 2 in the rat room? Because it says rat room and rat room boarded up chest. Did I get that? That was like literally 2 seconds ago, and I already forgot if I did that. Like, I am not here today. I really hope I got that. I can check the VOD. If I continue this later, I'll double check the VOD to make sure I actually got that. Ratto, yep, the rat room. I forgot. I couldn't remember if I forgot chest or not. Hi, Nicole. Welcome. Hope you're doing okay. Again, that's just kind of my default conversation starter, apparently. It's like, hi. How you doing? I say that like that's unusual to have that as a conversation starter. Now that I'm saying this out loud, I just feel silly. It's like, no, that's a pretty normal conversation starter, actually. Yes, Brain is not all here today, clearly. Also, Cal, I meant to point that out earlier, that I did notice you had rebranded, so congratulations for that. You're less melty than yesterday? That is good to hear. I'm feeling more melty than yesterday, personally. See, like, there's a thing that says chest on top of boulder. I think it means that, but how do I get that without arrows? Do you just do a really good bomb shot? I assume so. But that sounds horrible, so we're not gonna do that, and hope for the best. Hope nothing important is hidden behind there. While this cutscene plays, I'm gonna go and turn on a light, because it's actually getting kind of dark in my room. Oh, we can actually warp to Forsaken Fortress. That's good to know. Maybe we should hit up there next. Now that we have bombs, we should be able to get in there. Back to Windfall for something. Also ended up resetting tracking just in case, because I had a feeling it would get really out of whack because of standing up like that. So, good to go, hopefully, in that front. Now, why did it come back here? It's for the Joy Pendant, that's right. So, Spoils Bag, Joy Pendant... and then we need like 20 more after this. This is not the right place. This is the Squid Game. I mean, we could go for the 20. I don't really feel like going for the 20. That feels like a last resort kind of a thing, personally. But maybe I'm just unmotivated. We should do Spectacle Isle, though. That one's easier, and more in our control. Present, yes. So yeah, we need 20 more after this. Alright, so we kinda just went a loop there. Went back to this. Alright, again, I need to check on my own time if I actually got the rat room or not. So what am I looking for? Windfall? We did give her a joy pendant. Tsunari. Oh, right, him. Right. And again, I should have explained this again sooner, because a lot of people showed up after I explained it. But I am using, like, a couple of mods here. Obviously, I'm using a randomizer mod, but I also found a Linkle mod. This is actually very cool, because it was designed for the Wii U version, and then backported to the GameCube version, but it also takes a lot more setup because of that, unfortunately. The other thing is I do, again, have a mod to change pronouns for Linkle, or just a female character in general, basically. Is that just one for Tsunari's shop? But I don't know what... Oh, wait, do I do have a delivery bag. What's the holdup then? I do. I want to do a randomizer or something, but I don't know what. The thing is, there's like a randomizer for everything. So, like, if you have a particular game that's like your favorite game or something, there's a very high chance that it might have a randomizer, or just a series. Well, that's boring. We just actually got the town flower. Wait a minute, what the hell? I'm confused. It says that's a check, but is that just vanilla? I think that's just vanilla. Weird. There's probably... I mean, if Battle Network is part of Archipelago, I'm sure there's a randomizer for it. Despite the nature of it, I have a feeling that'd be the case at least. Also, is this randomized? I didn't see it in the tracker, so probably not. Well, that was unproductive, unfortunately. Alright, so we're back to square one a little bit. I have a tracker, it's just off screen, for the record. I did get that. There's Star Island. Says I can't do Forsaken Fortress, but I guess it's because we're missing the hammer. Crescent Moon, that's an option. It says we can't do big octos, but we actually do have the cannon, so that's really weird. We can play golf. We have the, Deku Leaf. We can get the Great Fairy. And we can do Japanese Cavern. So yeah, I think we're going back to Outset, actually. Oh, I don't have the bait bag yet. That's something I'm still missing, huh? Yeah, awkward. So we can't do the, pig quest over here. I'm trying to think of other games I'd want to do randomizers for. The problem is I own a lot of games on console. So, like, I was about to say Tunic, but I own that on, like, Switch. So I can't randomize that version, and I don't really want to pay another $30 for it. As much as I do, like, heavily vouch for Tunic. It's hard to justify owning 3 copies of this game. I say as I have, like, 3 copies of Celeste. No, 4 copies of Celeste, technically. I have a digital copy on Switch and 2 physical copies on Switch, and also the PC version, because it was in a Humble Bundle, and I wanted... Well, it was like the same... It was a GDQ bundle, and it was like the same price as, like, Bloodstained anyway. So I was like, I'm just gonna get this bundle. Tunic is very good, and I'm not just saying that because the main character's a fox. I'm not saying it out of total bias. A girl's gotta have 4 copies of Celeste, ain't that the truth? It's like, if you ever wondered if I am trans or not, well, there's your answer. I have 4 copies of Celeste. Not that that's a prerequisite, obviously, but I just know that Celeste is one of those games that tends to get, like, mentioned as, like, you know, trans femme game. I was gonna make a joke about, like, the others being, like, I think the others are, like, Fallout New Vegas and, like, oddly enough, like, Bloodborne. And I especially don't understand Bloodborne. Out of all of those, that's the one I'm most confused by. I actually don't think I could play Bloodborne. I do not do well with spiders in video games. And I know things about Bloodborne that make me think I would not enjoy certain areas of that game. Or any Souls game for that matter. Yeah, 4 copies of Shovel Knight and 3 of Cave Story. That's fair. I need to play Cave Story again. I've never done the true ending. Because that is a hard final section of the game. Another fun story, I almost thought about streaming Shovel Knight today. The reason was, I have owned Shovel Knight on Switch since launch day. But, however, I only ever played the Shovel Knight campaign. I never did the other 3. You got a whole new console to be able to play Iconoclasts again. See, I need to play Iconoclasts, period. That's been on my list of games I want to try for a while, but I just never got around to it. I think I went through Metroidvania fatigue for a while. Like, I like Metroidvanias, but I played so many of them that I just kind of burnt out at a point. So now it's been forever since I played Metroidvania, and I'm like, maybe I should. You can skip Plague of Shadows. That was the one I was thinking about playing, because it's like, you know, October. It'd be like seasonally appropriate. See, like, I keep thinking of other, like, scary games, and, like, I'm a Resident Evil fan, which, weirdly enough, I can handle Resident Evil, but I can't handle, like, gore and anything else. It's really confusing. That is a certified Peter moment happening in chat right now. But what was I saying? Like, Resident Evil is just very gory, so I just feel like it wouldn't work for my streaming audience, unfortunately. I know multiple people who are like, I can't handle gore, and I'm like, yeah, same. But I can handle in Resident Evil, and I don't know how to quantify what is different about Resident Evil compared to, like, any other really gory game. Oh, I missed the Tara getting radical from Wind Waker HD. This is gonna suck. See, I haven't played any of them. I'd go in order, and I think Plague is up first, so hey, the good thing about that is, I have nothing else to compare it to, so it'll be fine. Probably. First try, nice. And the second, I would've gotten a second try if I had staggered that shot just slightly. All I know is there's like triple triad in King of Cards, and that alone is like both fascinating and terrifying at the same time. And I say this as someone who's never played Final Fantasy VIII. I want to play it though. I have it on like PS4, I think. So maybe I want to stream Final Fantasies. That's a stupid idea because these are like long-ass RPGs. But I want to stream Final Fantasy at some point. We got a fancy treasure chest. You're not supposed to be here. This is Din's Pearl. Anyway, that is plot relevant, so that is good. But also not what I was hoping for. I'm a firm advocate of more games having optional card games. Yeah, same. Also fishing. Like, if your game has fishing, it automatically, like, goes up a point. Speaking of which, how's web fishing? I keep hearing about web fishing, and it's like, it feels like it might be up my alley, and it's only like $5, so maybe I'll try it, at some point, but I have not played it yet, or even bought it yet. Right now, I'm just saving up, like, I technically have, like, the ability to buy more games, but I try to ration things out for, like, emergencies. Right now, I'm mostly just sitting on, like, the decision to try to buy the Season Pass for Strive. Mostly just because, like, I'm probably going to like Dizzy, but I would like to see a trailer first, not just buy it on total faith. Because, like, she could play totally different than, like, Accent Core or Xrd, so I might be just totally up a river without a paddle. And go back to playing as Bridget or someone. I've been playing as Elfelt a lot lately, and I kind of got to the point where I don't really vibe with Elfelt, actually. As much as I like her gameplay, I feel like... Ooh, it's lagging. I'm gonna save. That does not make me happy. I mean, like, if I bought web fishing, I know, like, a ton of people who I could actually play with. So I've thought about it, but again, it's like, do I want to spend the $5 when Dizzy comes out in a week? And I'll probably be dedicating a lot of time to Strive in a moment. I will consider it though. It's very Animal Crossing core in a way that I really like, so it's like scratching an itch basically. One problem with replacing the sail with the Swift sail is it makes it so you don't have a regular sail, and thus you can't go slowly if you want to. That's like the one drawback of this mod. Shovel of Hope might be your least favorite. That's also fair because it was like the first, so it almost feels like later on they would have done more to like spice it up. It's kind of like how in, you know, Mega Man, for example, I personally find playing as anyone except Mega Man more interesting just because they always do more with the other characters. Like, you know, Bass and Mega Man 9. I say, having never played Mega Man 9, but you know what I mean, like... To diversify the playstyles of characters, they have to, Wait, what is getting a deluxe edition? Oh, Shovel Knight, gotcha. I forgot that existed. My brain, as far as Yacht Club is concerned, is entirely focused on Mina, the Hollower. I really... If I'm being blunt, I kind of don't care about Shovel of Hope Remastered or whatever it is. They don't even put this on the tracker. That doesn't surprise me, to be honest, because it's like not helpful for anything. Yeah, it's just a case of like the character movement is like more interesting. It's also how I feel about Sonic, actually. Like, to be totally honest, Sonic is like the least fun character to play in Sonic games, in my opinion. If we're counting 2D specifically, I need to specify that. Basically, in 2D Sonic games, I just feel like every other character is more interesting, from one way or another. For example, with Tails, obviously you can fly. With Knuckles, he can glide and climb walls, but he also has a lower jump, which actually kind of makes it a hard mode in a way, because certain bosses are just like slightly too high up. So, I do find Knuckles to be very interesting, while also being very frustrating to actually play well in classic Sonic games. But Sonic being, like, the baseline, he just kind of ends up being there. He just kind of ends up being alright, I guess, so... He almost just doesn't stand out in any way in particular compared to the others. At least that's kind of my take on it. 3D is obviously a very different story because of just how much they've spiced up character movesets in the 3D games. But yeah, for 2D, yeah, Sonic's just kind of the basic, you know, jack of all trades, master of none kind of character. Shovel Knight does feel a bit heavy, again, maybe down to the inspiration, the sort of DuckTales style movement. I feel like if Tails were the main character, something he'd be significantly faster instead of just the baseline guy. That's true as well. He probably is faster, to be frank, but I just never noticed, to be honest, because I don't pay that much attention, unfortunately. Oh, this sucks. Forgot about this cave. Oh, that's gonna slow down. I can't decide if I'm doing well or not in this randomizer, because, like, we're technically getting a lot of items, but we're also, like, not getting anything that important, and we've only done, like, a tiny bit of a dungeon, and then left, because we couldn't do anything else. So it's like, it's a kind of a mixed seed so far. Like, both, we're doing surprisingly well in some ways, but also making very little actual forward momentum in others. Also, like, playstyles matter too, like, you know, Mighty the Armadillo basically just has, like, a stomp attack, and that's basically his only differentiation. Meanwhile, Ray basically is the Cape Feather from Mario World. So, both also have, like, interesting inversions on, like, classic gameplay. But again, it does kind of come down to, Sonic being the baseline, so he kind of just ends up being the standard character. Which again, isn't a bad thing inherently, but he just ends up being a little bit less, like, flashy or, you know, unique compared to others. Can I get that, actually? I assume I can, it's listed, but I don't think I can fly that far. Oh yeah, Mighty also has spike immunity, which is very good in classic Sonic, where spikes are a pain in the ass in both literal and metaphorical terms. That could have gone better. I should have gone, like, a little bit angled, not straight on, but it's okay. So we have golfed successfully and gotten nothing out of it worthwhile. Oh, those are back. That sucks. Metaphor? Did I talk about metaphor? Oh right, it said metaphorically speaking. Oh, yeah, I'm not all here, I don't think. I'm really confused, but I think that is doable, actually. I'm kind of weird about metaphor. I'm like, I think I would enjoy it, but I also don't really want to spend money on it. Two reasons. One, I don't have the energy right now for an Atlas RPG. I really don't. I haven't even played Reload, because I just don't want to play a big-ass RPG right now. That sounds like a great way to burn out on gaming. I've just been playing short games. Like, my game clearing list is a lot of fighting games at the moment, because they're short. You can beat them in, like, 40 minutes. But, like... Where was I going with that? I feel like I need to have, like, a Windows, like, loading screen graphic on standby at all times for this stream, because I'm just spacing out a lot. But what was I saying? Right, metaphor. The other reason I'm not really jazzed about metaphor is just I don't trust Atlas to not do a special edition or like a director's cut like a year later. So I'm just gonna wait and see if they do a director's cut or something. By then it'll be like 20 bucks anyway, so if they don't, it'll be cheaper at least. So, like, I love Persona 5. Persona 5 is genuinely one of my favorite games of all time. I did not enjoy playing it twice. Like, to be totally honest, playing it twice, essentially, was miserable. Weirdly enough, this is somehow the second time I've talked to someone about this. But basically, like, even beyond just, you know, Palace 5, which is like the go-to. Is it 5? I think it's 5 that everyone complains about, making that they made it worse than Royal. But just playing through a long-ass game twice is just draining. It's like, this is a lot of time I could have been spending playing a different RPG. And I definitely should have played a different RPG instead of Royal. I should have just watched the cutscenes again, or the new stuff. But in the end, it was worth it, because let's be real, Yoshizawa is one of my favorite characters, like, ever. So ultimately, I did come out of Royal thinking it's one of my favorite games. But I would have preferred if I had just played Royal first, and never even bothered with the base game. Like, that's where I was going with this. It's like, if I had only played Royal, I would feel a lot better about it, and even then, it's like 9.5 out of 10 material. Can't stomach a second playthrough, yeah, that's fair. And again, it's just a case of like, if they keep doing this, they say they're not, but I don't trust them. We just got SMT Vengeance, and like, everyone says it fixes everything wrong with SMT5. So it's like, they're saying, like, oh, we're not gonna do this anymore, and then just immediately do it with, like, SMT5. So, like, with Metaphor, I'm, like, waiting for Metaphor, like, re-Fantasia or something. Like, I don't know what the hell they'd call it, but, like, I'd rather just see if they do that again. I don't even know if they will do that again, but just, you know, I'd rather not burn myself out playing this game, and just enjoy the complete version whenever the hell it happens. And like, that's where I am with Reload, and that's like a technically different game. I've never done the mail route, but I still am like, I kinda don't want to play Reload, because I have put so much time into Persona 3. You know, how much of my life have I spent playing Persona games, over and over again? Like, Persona 3 Portable took me 60 hours, and Reload's, like, longer, I think? So, that's a lot of time. That's a lot of time I could be spending playing something for the first time, essentially, instead of for what essentially amounts to, the second time. Not that, again, it's exactly the same game. It definitely has enough different to justify it on, like, base value, but still, it just kind of feels like a hard sell, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Alright, this sucks. I don't like the cannon controls in this version. I'm so used to, HD. Yeah, it is true. At least Vengeance was one, a much bigger gap than usual, and two, also an excuse to drop it on, like, current gen. So it had more reason to exist than Royal. Royal especially felt, like, really bad to me because of them re-releasing it, and then also not adding in, PS5 upgrading. So, like, I have the special edition of Royal for PS4, I can't upgrade it, so I'd have to buy I'd have to buy the game a third time to play it at 60 FPS, and that's just stupid, in my opinion. I love Persona 5 Royal. I would not want to pay another, like, 20 bucks for it, even though it isn't even full price anymore. I say again, having owned multiple copies of Celeste over the years. You end up shelving Baldur's Gate 3. Yeah, the problem with, like, Baldur's Gate is, isn't it like 150 gigs? It's on, like, multiple discs on console. It's absurd. And, like, the weird thing about Baldur's Gate is it doesn't even matter, because if you play a fraction of the game, you still technically get your money's worth, because, like, a lot of people were like, I played Act 1 and called it there, and that's still, like, valid in terms of, like, paying 60 bucks for it. I mean, there are people who are like, yeah, I paid 60 bucks for this game, only got to, like, start of Act 2 and then shelved it. And even then, people were like, yeah, no, that took long enough that it was still worth the money. It's like, I can't do Baldur's Gate anyway because of spiders and gore. But even if I could tolerate both aspects more, my main interest in Baldur's Gate is actually the character creator, because of course it is. Alright, what angle do we want? You smushed the buff demon lady and beat up J.K. Simmons, you're good for now? That's valid. Yeah, Act 3 takes a nosedive because, like, I think it's not as bad of a nosedive because they did clean it up, but it's the early access problem. everything in Act 1 was essentially playtested to hell and back, because... What am I doing? Everything in Act 1 was basically playtested to hell and back because of the early access period. So then, like, Act 3 comes out, and it's like, yeah, this is the part that basically hasn't been playtested for 4 years now. So, like, Act 1 is super refined because it had all this player feedback for years. And then Act 2 comes out, and like, Act 2 is, like, alright, and then Act 3 is not the best. Which is almost why I have to give massive props to Hades, because, like, Hades is a game that, like, everyone loves. Like, it was early access, but when it came out, everything about the game was just, like, people raved about it. And, like, Hades is a case of even the late game stuff that would have been, like, near the tail end of early access. It was still super polished from what I gathered, not that I've played Hades. Hades is on the list. Maybe I'll start that soon. Cause I own it on Switch physical, actually. But I keep putting it off because I've been wanting to stream for a long time, to the point where I kept being like, I want to stream Hades, so I'm gonna put it off so I can go in relatively inexperienced. But that just led to a problem of, I never played Hades. You beat the new boss first try? How hard is it, actually? Like, how much of a feat is that, I suppose, is what I'm trying to ask. All I know about Hades is, like, body and pan people are feasting in both games. That's, like, the basic summary of what I know in Hades. Probably hard, but you're a gamer? Well, congratulations. I will eventually get there as soon as I get through Hades 1, and probably when Hades 2 leaves early access. Yeah, Nemesis is very pretty. I know nothing about her, but I'm sure in a game based on Greek mythology, there's totally nothing bad going on there. But we support women's wrongs in this household. Wow, a lot of things are frozen. Yeah, maybe playing this on actual hardware wasn't the best choice. Maybe I should have used Dolphin, to be honest, because it is chugging to a disconcerting degree. I'm just gonna save, to be on the safe side. Hey, remember when I said this? I actually don't think I said this, but I meant for this to be a short stream, by the way, and I'm almost at 2 hours. And that was one of the good guys? Oh, good. I feel like a lot of times with Hades, it's just kind of like, oh, that character's pretty, oh wait, they're also evil. Like, that happens quite a bit for me. When I just, like, look and just, like, soul read a character, it's like, oh, they were the prettiest character. Also, they're, like, super messed up, but again, women's wrongs. Yeah, what else do we have here? The Octo... How the hell am I gonna find it, actually? Wait, how am I gonna no, wait, you don't have to retrieve it. This is the Great Fairy. Iconoclast is Steam Deck compatible. I want a Steam Deck. I can't justify it, unfortunately. I keep thinking about that. Like, I really want a Steam Deck, but, like, I don't think I'd use it enough. The only, like, the main appeal of a Steam Deck is PC games. So, like, I could offload some things. Like, if I could offload the gaming portion of PC stuff to a Steam Deck or something, and then, like, stream off of it with this PC, that'd be lovely, actually. That'd be great. But, is that worth $650? Probably not, to be honest. Then again, like, if I wanted to do streaming through this PC without upgrading, then, like, I'd have to buy a new GPU, and that'd also be $650. So, maybe a Steam Deck wouldn't be a bad deal, all things considered. You could also get one... Yeah, I could also get one of the, like the the $400 one, the LCD model. That's always an option too. I know they were on sale recently, and I was like really tempted because they were only like $300 or something. I was like highly considering it, but I kind of need to save up. Which also goes back to the previous problem of I never promote my like donation page ever, which I always feel bad about doing because I don't want people to donate if they don't have the ability to. See, like, the secret boss of Octo expansion is like really difficult. I've done it twice in my life. Ah, that makes sense. But yeah, I would probably go for like the 256 and just get an SD card when I needed it. I actually have a bunch of SD cards. I probably wouldn't even need one. It'd probably be good to go. Why am I backwards? Like, I don't even know if they do the 64 gig model anymore, but that doesn't feel like enough. That just feels too small, to be honest. Like, you know, 256 isn't great, but it's like reasonable. To talk about leaks for a moment, that's kind of what the Switch is being, or like the next Switch console is being rumored at. It's about 256. Which is way better than the 32 that the original Switch launched at, for sure. But in general, I feel like file sizes on games are just getting it absurd. It's stupid, to be honest. Why should a game, like... I don't even know what to, like... say, like Tekken, for example, it's like a 2D fighting... not a 2D, a 3D fighting game, but still, it's just like, why is this game, like, 90 gigs? That's absurd. Like, why does it need to be that big? Just compress the game for goodness sake. I don't care if it's not 4K, ray traced, blah blah blah, other buzzwords. I just want to be able to, like, not have to delete everything on my hard drive every time I want to play a game. Like, what's Strive at? Like, 30? Strive looks great. Like, I don't have any objections to the visual appeal of Strive. And it's like, yeah, 30 gigs. That's probably why it's coming on Switch, partly because file sizes are actually reasonable for this game. It's like, I deleted a lot of games. I think I got rid of Street Fighter 6 the other day. 27 sounds about right. But that's probably gonna go up a bit here if they're adding a bunch of stuff soon. Yeah, a lot of games are just really poorly optimized, and that's like... This goes into a separate argument, actually, that I've been meaning to have on stream. PS5 Pro. My really hot take on the... Wow, these two fairies were like reversed. This is the one that the Octo one should have had. But my biggest complaint about the PS5 Pro is my very hot take that the games that need the PS5 Pro come down to a skill issue on the part of executives trying to rush out games and not giving developers time to optimize things, and then being like, oh, well, you just need a $700 console to make up for our not giving our employees time to actually optimize anything. Like, that's genuinely my hot take. It's probably not a hot take, actually. A fairly cold take on the gaming industry at the moment. It's like, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is a game that runs not the best. It looks pretty chunky, to be honest, on, like, the performance mode. But it's playable. But, like, on the other hand, I kind of feel like it took only, like, 3 years to make, which is, like, absurd for, like, an Unreal Engine 4 open world game. You have genuinely no idea why you would play something on a PS5 that isn't already available on something else. Yeah, I have a PS5. The main reason for that is just streaming. I say as I've never streamed the PS5 game. But for the sake of, like, not having to being able to offload resources, because like obviously a game like Spider-Man 2 is going to be really hard to run and stream off the same computer. So that's kind of my justification for it. If I eventually stream that. If I don't, then it's really awkward. But basically, if I want, because I kind of want to play the Spider-Man games at some point on stream, so it would be hard to actually run both well and stream at the same time. So again, it's about offloading, basically. Again, same reason the Steam Deck was appealing. But here's the other fun thing. How's the number looking right now? Because Astrobot just came out, and everyone's like raving about it. I haven't played it because I'm too distracted by other games. But like, if you think about it, how long until like... Yeah, I've seen mixed arguments. Like, supposedly there's been some indication they might be porting it. Others say they won't because it's so integrated into the DualSense design philosophy that it'd be really hard. You'd have to buy a DualSense for this game, practically, in order to actually, like, get the true experience. But yeah, I've seen mixed opinions on whether Astrobot will get a PC release. But like Spider-Man just got announced. It hadn't even been a year. We just hit the 1 year for Spider-Man, and also by extension, Mario Wonder just turned a year old as well. Because Spider-Man and Mario Wonder were the same day. Also, that's the reason why I never actually played Spider-Man, was because I figured, you know, which of these two games is more likely to get a price drop, not the Nintendo one. Same with Sonic Superstars, which I got on sale a little bit later also. Same reason. It's like Sonic games always go on sale really fast, so I'm not paying $60 for this game that everyone is saying is kinda mid. But like, if Astrobot gets a PC release, is the PS5 back down to having 0 games? Because then, like, that's literally one of the only true exclusives for this godforsaken device anymore. I mean, like, even Returnal is on PC. See, like, that's another game that seems like it'd be up my alley, and another one where it's like, I'd probably buy it on PS5, just because if I wanted to stream Returnal, my PC would probably blow up if I tried to do both at the same time. So yeah, there are genuine cases for me where it's just, the PS5 does have a benefit from that perspective of like trying to stream. I've seen other people kind of rationalize it that way too, where it's like, you know, it's better than, like, for if you want the best quality for a streamer, what would you have to do for certain games? Like, buy a 4090, and like, that's $2,000. So arguably, it is technically a better deal, but that's not a good comparison if you have to compare something to a 4090 in order to justify a price proposition. Anyway, we can not do anything in the Earth Temple because we still don't have the hammer or the boots. There's a cave? I guess that makes sense. There's a cave on Bomb Island. Meanwhile, the Xbox, I've gotten a lot more use out of, just because I missed out on a lot of last-gen stuff, so like... Again, a lot of this stuff is still on PC, but hey, Rare Replay is still an exclusive on Xbox, so that's still technically something. You lurk now? Okay, have a nice lurk. Thank you for stopping by and for hanging out. And thank you for the hugs and support. Thanks everyone, by the way. Again, this did help my mood a lot, being able to stream, even if my energy levels and brain function has not been optimal for most of the stream. Yeah, it's just been kind of nice getting to hang out and just chat a little bit. What game was I just talking about wanting to stream? Hades? Like, this is how much I'm tuned out right now. Not tuned out in the sense of not paying attention, but just tuned out in terms of my brain is like not processing things adequately. Is there supposed to be an enemy here? Because I'm seeing a distinct lack of enemies here. That was dumb. I should not have ran full tilt with a pot in hand. That could have ended really badly. See, like, I'm pretty sure there's supposed to be an enemy for that. Oh, okay. That works. Neat. But again, I was meaning for this to be a short stream, but here we are at 2.5 hours. I don't know what I'm gonna call it. Obviously, we've made, like, no progress, technically. So it kind of makes it difficult to, like, judge what a good stopping point even is. If there's not really, like, any progress being made in the traditional sense. Oh, that's gonna fall into the lava. I need to back up for a moment. There we go. Chuck you into the fire pit here, and we're good to go. I also don't know when I'm continuing this, because on Wednesday I might do something different. I have something else in mind. Another Triforce piece, so we are making good progress on the Triforce. We're not really on anything story-related. But yeah, like, if you think about it, we can't even do 2 dungeons out of 5 until we get the grappling hook, because you need it to get into the Forsaken or the Forbidden Woods and any further in Dragon Roost. So like, we're kinda just collecting everything except the grappling hook, unfortunately. I wouldn't even be shocked if that's what's behind the Tingle statues, based on how many we're picking up along the way here. Angular Isles. I totally skipped past that. Oh, that's a good thing to check. Yeah, we'll go there. I remember the shop at Rockspire. We can't do much at Rockspire, I'm pretty sure. Just because we don't have, like, enough items. Gotta head out. Take care, Cal. Thank you for stopping by as well. My voice is giving out, so I'm probably gonna end, like, top of the hour, I think is what I'm gonna shoot for right now. But again, a much longer stream than I was intending, for better or worse. I think my voice is gonna be a little dead after this, if I had to make a guess. What else is there that I've been wanting to talk about? See, like, my problem is I just feel like I keep talking about Guilty Gear, or wanting to talk about Guilty Gear, and I feel like that's inherently a franchise where I kind of second-guess talking about it, just because it's still fairly niche, so I almost feel like I kind of don't talk about it as much as I would like to. And again, like Xenoblade, like one of my two of my 3 favorites at the moment are very, like, difficult to talk about for different reasons, with Xenoblade and Guilty Gear. For Xenoblade, it's almost more story-based, actually. Like, you know, story spoilers. Alright, let's see the damage here. This could be really bad, actually. Yuck. Oh boy, this sucks. This is really gross. This is 900. This is 950. And this is 500. And all of these are... 2 are definitely helpful. The others are probably... The treasure chart could be something. Bye. So we gotta put a pin on this for later, when we have, like, 2,400 rupees? That sounds disgusting when I put it that way. I'm also running out of bombs, which is not good. So, Not sure how to approach this situation here. Because there's like a lot of things we need bombs for, but I don't have enough here. I mean, we could have used the refill coupon for bombs. That actually would have been a smart plan. I guess I'm just hoping for a restock at this point, like naturally finding one. Yeah, with Xenoblade, like, the inherent problem I have is the part of Xenoblade I like talking about is about the character, or one of the characters, there's no shortage, one of the characters with, like, the most spoilery stuff to talk about. So it's like, how do you talk about this character? Because if you say, I really like this character, it's, like, hard to explain anything about why, because everything is a spoiler. So yeah, it's just like saying cat is like very like pointed, I feel. I want to play 2 again, and I really want to play 3 again. Would that be on stream? I do not know, those are long-ass games. I mean, even New Game Plus, they might still take a while, like 40 hours, 30 hours, so maybe someday, but maybe I'd have to build up stamina to stream either more days or like longer per day. I've thought about streaming like an extra day, like tossing another one, partly for the reason of like today, like sometimes streaming feels like the thing that's kind of keeping me like on track in a way. So actually streaming more might be helpful, like adding an extra day to help me get out of bed earlier, or like, you know, get my routine started faster, and, you know, stay on target. So yeah, I've actually considered streaming more days just to, you know, kind of keep my life in order, as bizarre as that might sound. In which case, a game like Xenoblade would not be as bad if I'm doing like 2 or 3 extra streams a week. But again, very much all in progress at the moment, no concrete plans. I am absolutely guessing my way through streaming at this point. That's kind of one of the fascinating things about this idea of streaming, is just kind of... Well, that's definitely worth it. Got the bow finally. This cave. And we've got the bow. That opens up a lot of things. And by that I mean... 4. Okay, that doesn't really open up that much, actually. It's like, I thought it would be a lot more helpful than it actually was. Trying to think of other games I'm really into, like Zelda's obviously a big one. Like, if you were to ask me what my favorite game franchises are, I would say Xenoblade, Zelda, Guilty Gear in that order. Probably. Like, those are at least the ones that spring to mind immediately. After that, I'd probably also toss in Animal Crossing as a possibility, because I really love Animal Crossing. Again, why web fishing looks appealing, because it kind of has an energy that's kind of similar to Animal Crossing in a way. And this is why I was worried about not having enough bombs for this before, because I'm a terrible shot when not given a naming cursor. How did I get that off screen? Cause like, I could hear it blow up, and I'm like, how did I make that shot? Oh, this sucks. This like setup here is bad. Oh, that's annoying. Oh, this is the one you actually have to glide for too. That's unfortunate. We have enough magic at least, so it's not a problem. It's just kind of an inconvenience more than anything. Also, I forgot you can actually like sail even with the cannon out. I should have done that sooner. And then there's the other, like, outpost over there, too. So we'll hit this one up as well. This one's lower. I can actually see what I'm doing, which is nice. Yeah, at some point we'll continue the seed of the randomizer and see what other exciting finds we can get here. Oh, that was an enemy. That wasn't actually the turret. That's almost more impressive in a way. Like hitting a completely unconnected target by accident. Alright, so far so good. Now we have to go over and glide. I'm gonna do something dumb here. So what I did there was I wanted to change the wind direction using Swift Sail, but then I pulled out the Wind Waker to stop the boat from moving, because when you pull out an item like that, it immediately stops the boat in its tracks. So like a very like roundabout way to actually accomplish that. But I just didn't want to play the Battle of Gales again, or the Wind's Requiem. Actually, how are you supposed to get up to that one? That looks really high up. You must have to hit the whirlpool going around it to actually get that. 'Cause yeah, I don't think that's reachable otherwise. It's like, I don't remember this part of the game at all, if I'm being honest. Alright, this is dumb, but we'll give it a try. Or I can completely miss it, but I should be able to hit it on the way back, I hope. Or not? Well, that sucks. We'll probably drown, because we're all the way over here. Maybe I should go after the other one first. Maybe that'd be a good idea. Again, I don't remember having to do this. Like, I thought it was just a straight shot, but it definitely feels like it's too high up otherwise. Well, at least there's probably magic refills up here, right? Yep, there we go. Yeah, that has to be the case, right? Because it's too high up otherwise. Also, I have mentioned before that my depth perception is really terrible in games, which definitely also complicates set pieces like this, where you have to, like, line something up at a distance. That was dumb, but it actually worked, so I'll take it. Was a little bit too high up, actually. The other one shouldn't be nearly as bad. Another Triforce piece. We're at 4 out of 8. So yeah, the biggest concerns I have right now are the beetle items being where they are, because with those being so expensive, we might be kind of walled for a bit, actually. Also, with our current wallet, I think we can only carry 1,000 rupees at a time. If I'm remembering correctly. Yep, only 1,000, so we'd have to buy each one individually. To be ready, I might off-screen do some rupee collecting, just to make sure we can get one of the items at the start of next time, and then like, that looks backwards. That's the way the wind was going. Just start out getting like iron boots or something, just to speed things up a little bit. Since we know where it is, there's not like a surprise of like, oh, what mystery item is this? Oh, it's the iron boots. It's like, yeah, we know what it is, so I almost feel like I can just get that. Or at least save up for it, off screen. But like, that's 600 rupees, that's gonna take a bit. There we go. Alright, all these were relatively worth it, actually. One empty bottle. Now, what can we do with that, actually? I don't think there's much we can actually do with that right now. But again, that is very good to have for the future. So we got all the lookout towers. We did the cave, so it's just down to the shop ship here for accessible checks. It's 5-star aisle. Also off screen, actually, one thing I need to do is look at all the treasure charts, because you can't actually track these as well. So we have 4. But we haven't deciphered it either, so maybe I shouldn't mark that. Oh, there it goes. There's a Deku Leaf chest and Great Fish. There's a lot of miscellaneous stuff, like look at platforms. Oh, that's an easy one we can do to wrap up the stream, is the chest in Dragon Roost. That one won't take very long. And then at Windfall, there's still the auction, so that's also gonna be expensive. Based on the price of the other one. 80 rupee auction. The 5 rupee ended up getting to like 100 something, so the 80's gotta get to like 200 to 300, so we'd probably want to solve like 400 to 500 rupees for that. Here's a weird quirk of when I play Zelda games. I almost always use the same buttons for items. For example, I almost always like having arrows on Y. In any Zelda game. I don't know why, haha, but that is always the button I use for arrows if I can help it. Obviously some you can't choose, like, you know, Breath of the Wild, it's set to ZR, but in the older games where you can map it to a button, I almost always choose to have it on Y. Alright, another piece of heart. I could already tell by the jingle. Alright, let's do one more check, actually. It shouldn't take too long, it's only 2. Crescent Moon Island, which is northwest of where I currently am. Yep, that's northwest. There's also Star Island, there's 5-star Isle. There's plenty of stuff we can potentially do. There's no shortage of activities. But according to the tracker, assuming I marked everything correctly, which I may not have, there are 235 locations left. So we got through about 50, I think. I think I was at like 280, 290, based on the randomization settings. So, all things considered, that went pretty okay. Obviously things might bottleneck a bit here because we're gonna run out eventually of the easy checks. So then we'll be left with like the really time-consuming ones, or just ones that are more out of the way, so we have to actually sail out for them. But for our first, like, you know, attempt at a randomizer like this was pretty good, I'd say. Like a very respectable start to this. So yeah, I have no clue what I'm streaming on Wednesday. I might react to the trailer that drops on Wednesday. The thing with Disney is, because it's like Paris Games Week, the trailer will drop it so early in the day that I'm pretty sure I'm gonna end up seeing the trailer, or bits of the trailer, anyway, unless I just don't check the internet until I start streaming, which is not the easiest thing in the world for me to do, as someone who likes to check Discord like when I wake up and such. But yeah, I've considered, like, should I just try to react to the Disney trailer, like, you know, totally uninfluenced, basically? Also, I like how I said top of the hour, and we're already at top of the hour, and I'm still playing, because of course I am. But like, these are fairly easy checks, so I just wanted to get them out of the way while I was thinking about them. Yeah, Xenoblade is a really weird series to talk about, I feel like, because it's also a case of, like, my opinions on Xenoblade are a little bit unpopular, because I like 2 and 3 more than 1, and a lot of people swear by 1 is the best. And I kind of don't enjoy 1 very much, to be totally honest, just because it feels a little bit dated at times, in terms of, like, design. It's like, I just really meshed with, like, the characters of 2. I like Pyra, and not for the obvious reasons. I like Nia, I even like Rex. Again, that's also a really fun take I have of I like Rex in 2. And then people who like him suddenly when he gets hot in 3 are like, well, that's shallow, in my opinion, because he's basically the same character at heart. So that is my hot Xenoblade 2 take of the day. And a lot of discourse about Rex just boils down to his outfit being dumb, but that's like, how much does that apply to just JRPG protagonists in general? Like, how many RPG characters do have dumb outfits? It's a very high number. But as long as they're good characters, I really don't care. Hell, you can make an argument that, like, Sora's outfit is kind of silly, but, like, he's still a good character. And yeah, I like Rexen too. And again, I feel like people tried to make him out to be, like, really different in 3. But other than visuals and voice actor, he's very much the same character. And it was, like, weird seeing people trying to, like, oh yeah, he's so different now. It's like, is he though? He's kind of just the same. I said I was gonna stop, and yet here I am, eyeing the map, being like, maybe I should do one more. Yeah, we'll do one more, then we'll call it, hopefully. Unless I decide to do more, or if we get a really good item and I get hooked on this. Well, we'll do Star Island really quickly, just to get it out of the way, since it's kind of in a remote corner of the map here. Yeah, clowning on RPG character designs is just kind of... It's one of those things, and people always have this discussion. Again, this is the real talk stream because I'm tired and my filter is gone. People always, like, overdone arguments are, like, frustrating. Because then you will hear this argument for the 50th time. And yeah, Xenoblade 1's tough. Like, I got walled on Xenoblade 1 quite a bit. Mostly because of spike damage and not understanding it. Once I played 2 and spike damage of all things, because 2 is notorious for not explaining things well. But I actually understood spike damage for the first time in 2, and while not understanding it at all in 1, and had a much better time with 2 as a result. That being said, there were still mechanics like chain attacks I didn't fully understand until, like, literally the second to last chapter. This is not an exaggeration. So yeah, I'm not gonna defend all aspects of Xenoblade 2, but I do think that game catches too much flack, personally. And yeah, that's the other problem. I find a lot of arguments are just like, 1, we've gone through this 50 million times, and 2, it's so, like, surface level. That's why a lot of gaming discourse rubs me the wrong way. It's just, it's surface level. It's like finding a very, like, specific thing to be mad over that doesn't even affect anything in the grand scheme of anything. But basically, like, a lot of gaming, like, people always talk about weapon durability in Breath of the Wild, and, like, get angry when people, like, shut that down really quickly. And this isn't to say one side is, like, objectively correct or non-object, but the issue is, when you've been hearing people complaining about weapon durability for 7 years, and it's been 7 years since Breath of the Wild, I feel like I'm having a slight existential crisis at that thought, but it's just so... We've been through the same tired argument so many times, and of course people are going to react, like, strongly to it, because it's like, oh god, here we go again. So yeah, I think that's why people get quote-unquote defensive about certain topics. Because it's like, we've been through this roller coaster so much that I'm just like, I'm over it. It's like, yeah, I'm on team for weapon durability for the most part, just because of, like, the sort of situational comedy that results around it. And it's also why I like the Hitman games. There's a bit of, like, unintentional comedy sometimes because you're just scrambling and, like, okay, I'll just pick up this random, like, item and, like, use this as a weapon because it's all I have right now. So again, I almost feel like I like immersive sims because of the comedic aspects of them that can arise from them sometimes. And that's also something I enjoy about Echoes of Wisdom, is just like, you know, picking up random rocks and just whacking enemies over the head with them. And I mean, some people found the combat really, like, slow in that game, but it's like, I just think it's silly being able to just pick up random garbage and toss it at enemies. Or just summon different, like, enemies and just see what happens. And yeah, but again, oh well, that's definitely worth it. That is a very good way to end this, first attempt. And yeah, like, the other thing about Breath of the Wild, and also, like, cause another argument that comes up with Zelda a lot is over, like, bespoke, quote-unquote, level design versus, like, procedural, or accidental, in some cases, level design. And I feel like some people like a certain sense of order in games, where it's like, they want things to be done in a certain way. Meanwhile, if something really dumb and unexpected happens, I enjoy that in games a lot of times, because it's just like, it's funny, like, to have something that, like, to come up with a solution that may work, it may not work, it may be intended, or completely, like, not what the developers had in mind. But the funny part with, like, Breath of the Wild, and also Portal is a very good example, where it's like, sometimes you will get results, even if it's not remotely dev-intended. And I think there's a beauty of that kind of game design, personally. But yeah, like, the whole argument over, like, Zelda design, like, should we have, like, set dungeons, or should you be able to tackle them, like, the different parts of the dungeon in whatever order, I think it ultimately, one, boils down to personal preference, and two, is just, like, an argument that gets dredged up every, like, couple of weeks in, like, Twitter arguments, and it just gets old, and this people's, like, patience for these arguments is worn thin after having battled these battles as many times as they have. So that is my take on why gaming discourse is kind of frustrating. It's just, people tend to act like, oh well, I guess I'm not allowed to have an opinion, and it's more so just like everyone's very defensive because we're all worn out by everything. So someone coming in, and usually when people are like, well, I guess I'm not allowed to have an opinion, it's usually someone saying an opinion in the most inflammatory way possible as a conversation starter, and then acting like, oh wait, what? Like, putting the impetus on the other party for getting upset at the way they poorly express their opinion. This is not the conversation I expected to be happening on stream, but I felt cathartic to talk about, oddly enough. Alright, so we're gonna call it here, I think. I was just looking at the map. Yeah, a lot of it's just like, so much of gaming discourse is so frustrating, because someone will be like, this thing in this game, like, sucks, it's trash, it's garbage. I don't know why anyone can like this. And someone will be like, well, I like this because XYZ, and then they'll respond, well, why are you getting so defensive about it? It's like, because you came in swinging, I'm going to react to it. So, like, that's the frustrating part. And it's a personal trigger for me, because, like, I've dealt with this for a large portion of my life, to be honest, that people will always like, some people in arguments will always redirect fault away from themselves. And it's like, oh, well, they were antagonistic, but it's like the other person's fault for disagreeing. And thus, it's a personal thing for me. But this is also getting a little bit off topic, in terms of, like, trying to wrap up a stream here. I'm saving twice, because I'm not fully paying attention to if I successfully saved the first time. That was almost 3 hours. That was meant to be a short stream. Because of that, obviously that means it was a good stream. At least I enjoyed going through this. Again, best Zelda randomizer I've experienced in a while, given how cursed previous ones I've attempted were. And yeah, I felt good to just be able to, like, talk about some things that have been on my mind. I'm glad we got to have this conversation because you agree fully. Yeah, thank you as well for this, because again, this was very cathartic to talk about as someone who's, like, struggled with this for a large portion of my life, of people running up against this, like, problem. Again, it's like, if someone comes in and says, like, if I'm playing Breath of the Wild, or, like, okay, going back to the original point of, if I'm playing Xenoblade 2, and someone's like, I don't like Rex because, like, XYZ, but if they give a reason other than his outfit's dumb, or, like, the one scream that gets reused in, like, 3 cutscenes, and someone can give an actual reason of why they don't like Rex for some reason, I will respect that more than if people just are like, yeah, they reuse this scream in a couple of cutscenes. It's like, this is such a weird argument to have. Oh, the voice acting's bad. It's like, yeah, well, they did it as a rush job. It's not the cast's fault. Also, you can play with the Japanese audio if it bothers you that much. This is like a big problem I have with a lot of dubs, is when people are like, oh, this dub is bad. It's like, just use one of the other language tracks. You know, almost every game has them nowadays. But yeah, it's like, if someone disagrees about, like, you know, weapon durability, should you give reasons for liking Rex? I'd be curious, actually. I don't know if it would be spoilery. It could potentially be spoilery, actually. But ultimately, I'll leave it up to you to decide that, like, how spoilery it is. Again, I know, like, with Nia, I really can't talk about my reasons for liking her. Or Mithra, for that matter. Mithra is such a funny character, because you can basically tell who has and hasn't finished the game based on if they like Mithra or not. You like Rex because he sees the state the world's in and chooses to be a good person in spite of it. There's a specific cutscene that always gets brought up with this topic. And it's definitely a spoiler. It's like, I think it might be the final boss. It's either the final boss or the secondary protagonist. I forget which one it is. But just like a speech he gives that's like 100% along those lines. And like, that's the thing about Rex versus Shulk. One, Shulk is older, so when they have moments of Shulk being a bit, like, naive or overly trusting, I almost feel like my suspension of disbelief is a little bit challenged more, if that makes sense. But I almost feel like with Rex, because he is portrayed as a bit younger, but also instead of it coming off more like everyone is tricking him and such, he's like more choosing to trust people. So it comes off different than Shulk in a way that I think the trope lands better. But again, this is like dancing around Xenoblade spoilers. But yeah, my hot take is like, you know, Xenoblade 1 is still a good game. It's still like, I'd give it like an 8 out of 10, but it's like my least favorite Xenoblade. Yeah, I'd say, like, main trilogy, 100%. You know, X, I think I still like 1 more than X, though I do have a lot of fun with that world, even if the game itself has some rough edges to it. And yeah, and then, like, Noah almost is another very interesting character, because they almost take the direction of Rex a bit, but with more willingness to take extreme measures when necessary, more so than Rex, who I think is more forgiving? It's complicated. Noah is basically that, I think we have to kill this guy, damn, meme personified. I kind of feel like that's the best way to describe my thoughts on Noah, which isn't a, you know, criticism of the character. I think Noah's a very fun character as well. But that's like the fastest way I can describe Noah, like, on instinct. Like, just very early on, like, this isn't overly spoiler, it's like near the beginning of the game, but I almost feel like Noah tries to, like, see the good in people a la Rex, and I feel like that's a general recurring theme in Xenoblade, is sort of, like, trying to find the beauty and the good in the world, which is, like, definitely something that hits hard for me personally, and I think, like, 2 and 3 especially drill into those themes, and that's why I think those games are more poignant to me than 1, which doesn't dip into those themes quite as much of, like, you know, trying to see the best in everything. I'm not even trying to see the best in everything, but trying to, like, you know, as I say, be the change you want to see in the world, kind of, in the case of Rex. But again, this is like really dancing around spoilers, and I do apologize if I said too much there. But yeah, I do really love Xenoblade as a series. I'd love to play 2 and 3 on stream. It's just a matter of, do I have the time and stamina for that? But again, something for the future if I decide to add more stream days or longer streams. I still need to figure out affiliate plans, because I hit affiliate and was like, I'm gonna do an affiliate celebration, and I still haven't planned it out, because I have been struggling the last, like, month or so. So I need to figure that out, and try to figure out some games that'd be fitting for a celebration stream. Yeah, X is a very flawed game, but I think it's very fun. And also, like, in that weird category where it's both kind of like... how to describe it? It's a gameplay first kind of game. Like, the gameplay is really fun. The story is, like, unfinished, literally. Which is always why I would want a future connected style remaster of, X that tags on an epilogue to try to resolve the storyline or maybe set up something in the future. But yeah, I'm down for whatever Monolith does next. They've kind of hit that point for me where it's like, yeah, when they announce a new game for like Switch 2 or whatever, like I'm there day one. It might not even be Xenoblade, but I'm pretty sure I'm gonna be there day one in some capacity, because I just... 2 and 3 were like... I don't know, 2 especially might be... I might be willing to say 2 was life-changing playing through it. For, again, reasons I can't actually talk about. But it definitely coincided with a personal... a bit of personal self-discovery, and I think that's part of the reason why I resonated so strongly with 2, and I carried over to 3, which also lined up to a not great time in my life, so... It's one of the situations that was like, yeah, this is a message I need to hear right now, so that's why 2 and 3 are more special. Meanwhile, with Xenoblade 1, I still respect it, but I don't have as much emotional attachment. But yeah, this is kind of what I mean, and I try my best to do this when talking about games. I try not to talk down on games, if I can help it. Like, I try to express how I feel about a game in a way that doesn't feel... like it's putting down the other position. At least that's what I tried to do. Sometimes I'll just be spiteful if like a fan base is being ornery. Like I know I can do that sometimes jokingly with Pokemon, and I do feel like maybe I shouldn't poke that hornet's nest as much as I do. But there are times when I just kind of am at my limit with like certain fandoms, and I will be more blunt and negative than I would be normally. More like, you know, inflammatory. But in terms of like actual conversations, I try to do my best to be like, I see 100% why people would enjoy this as much as they do, even if this isn't for me. That's like my philosophy with a lot of media in general, where if I'm not vibing with something, I will still try to find the best in it. I will try to find things I like. Again, I complain a lot about Sonic Lost World, I complain a lot about Sonic Forces, but there are good things about those games. There are things I can genuinely find fun in those games. Lost World is Sonic Mario Galaxy, but less polished, but it's still okay. I just don't like the story of it. Because it's like, Tails is my favorite character, one of my favorite characters in Sonic, and thus he's done real dirty in that story. And Forces is just a story mess, but it's kind of an entertaining story mess, but the gameplay is just really flat feeling, so it ends up feeling undercooked. And also, like, with Forces, that's a good example, or a lot of Sonic games, and a lot of Pokemon games. Like Scarlet and Violet, I will not defend the launch performance especially, or even the current performance. I dabbled a little bit. I got like 2 hours in and got sidetracked before the first gym. So I need to go back to it. I might start the game actually and do a stream playthrough. Maybe that'll be fun at some point. But I really hate the Game Freak discussions that always happen, where everyone's like, oh, they're so lazy. They're so like, you know, they should just take Pokemon and give it to an actual talented developer. It's like, that's a really reductive argument that takes away so many equations so much out of the equation in terms of like discussing the problems with Pokemon. It's like the yearly, almost yearly release cycles and the multimedia like chaining of different parts of the IP together. That's why the games end up feeling undercooked a lot. It's not because the developers are like, you know, lazy. I hate when people talk about game developers as lazy, to be honest, because it's like again, going back to Rex trying to like, you know, talk about Xenoblade philosophy, there's this sort of feeling of like, I would choose to believe that a game designer would not cut corners on purpose for the most part. They try to like make the best product they can, but they're also working up against extremely unfair working conditions and against deadlines that are being imposed on them. Yeah, overworked and underpaid for sure. So when a game ends up being like broken at launch and people all get mad at the developer for being horrible and they should never work again, it's like someone's calling the shots here, and it's not like the person who's like the bug tester. It's not like the QA team that's calling the shots on this game. Most times QA teams will be like, this is not good, and then the executives will say release it anyway and we'll fix it once we release the game. So like, that's not the developer's fault, that's the fault of the people calling the shots. So yeah, that's kind of my philosophy on games. It's like, you know, Pokemon is such a horrible franchise to try to discuss in large pockets of the internet, because it's like, if you like Pokemon, you know, Sword or Shield and Scarlet and Violet, it's like, people get really upset over that, and it's like, who cares? If you're having fun with a game, you're having fun with a game. If you're not having fun with a game, like, touch grass, please, instead of just going onto other people's posts telling them they're wrong for liking it, because that's not productive to anybody. That just is going to make everyone upset dwelling in this like hatred of this game instead of just finding something else to occupy your time with. At least that's my philosophy. It's like, if people were to ask me what my least favorite game of all time is, I would usually go with Star Ocean: The Last Hope. But the thing is, I like never think about this game. Like, I feel like some people really dwell on media they don't like. Pokemon's a very good example of that. But for me, it's like, I can play a game and have like a bad time in the moment, and then just kind of like go play something else. I don't like, well, Star Ocean's maybe not a good example, because like Star Ocean's kind of not in the best shape as a franchise in general, so the amount of times it comes up is relatively limited. But in general, it's like, I'm not gonna go on a Star Ocean fan's post and be like, you're wrong for liking Last Hope, it's the worst game I've ever played. It's like, one, I've played worse games, I just have personal grievances with the story and like gameplay pacing that made it like my least fun game I've ever played. But like, I'm not gonna go and police other people's enjoyment of this game. Wow, I didn't mean to get on a soapbox as I was trying to wrap up stream, but again, that felt actually cathartic to talk about all that. Thank you all for the discussions. That was actually really fun, getting to actually open up about my thoughts on this sort of topic. And thanks everyone for all the support today, for coming out, all the positive encouraging comments, and so on. For hanging out, for lurking, just being cool people, and yeah, next stream will probably be Wednesday. It'll hopefully be Wednesday. I don't know what I'm doing. There's a very high chance I'm going to react, even if it's not blind, there's a very high chance I'm going to end up reacting to the Dizzy trailer, just because I'm not normal about this character, basically. I'm very excited and would like to do something with that. The other thing is, after that, I don't know what I'm doing. Like, should I try playing Strive? Should I try playing something unrelated? I don't know, because my brain is mush at the moment, and I'm not good at making decisions even when my brain is working. So I will decide the game on Wednesday, and then we'll see what happens. Yeah, thank you all for stopping by. My voice is also dying at the moment, so I should probably wrap up. Contemplating raiding, but I almost feel like people are playing games that are like, I don't know if I want spoilers for this. So I am currently trying to decide on that. There's a couple people that could be good options, but we shall see. It's like, what is this game? It's like, I'm just like being indecisive. See, my problem with raiding is I'm a very indecisive person. It happened my whole life. And so with raiding, it's a very spur-of-the-moment decision that I'm having to make on the fly. Like, do I raid somebody? So that's oftentimes why I don't end up raiding unless there's like a very clear target, because then me trying to like do the math in my head of trying to actually figure out who I want to raid just gives me stress because I don't handle decision making well. So I might just call it here for the sake of my voice and everything. Yeah, thank you all for hanging out, for being cool people, all the support as usual, and hope I'll be able to stream again in a couple days. So yeah, take care, and I hope everyone has a good rest of their night.